Lights, Camera, Barstool, episode 62. On this episode, which is presented by Omega Accounting Solutions, we will be talking some very different things. One, Terrifier 2, the gory slasher movie that has lit up TikTok. We are going to be talking about it. Also, Bob Iger back at Disney. How will that impact Marvel, Star Wars, all the things in between? Quentin Tarantino in the news. A really horny, weird Tom Brady movie that's coming out. And then an interview with Thomas Lennon in studio. This episode, like I said, presented by Omega Accounting Solutions. Small business owners, guess what? You may be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee through the Employee Retention Credit. Omega Accounting Solutions can help you recover payroll tax overpayments and determine if you're eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. All it takes with a quick, easy, and free 10-minute consultation to determine if you qualify. Omega is a small business champion, which seems dedicated to maximizing tax credits. CPAs even turn to Omega for ERC guidance. Take advantage of this exclusive small business tax credit now. The 3-year sunset deadline for filing begins to close March 31st, so almost 3 months away, 2023. So learn if you qualify today. Call 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9ERC, 800-300-9ERC, or visit OmegaTaxCredits.com now. All right, welcome to Lights, Camera, Barstool, episode 62 of Season 2. Jeff Lowe, Ken Jack, Chris Castellani, Gooch coming at you, talking, like I said, a lot of different things. A lot of Disney and a lot of gore.
Hell yeah.
Classic
Two things that go hand in hand.
I asked Gooch about 15 minutes ago if he actually watched Terrifier 2.
I did.
I had an odd feeling he was going to bait and switch us.
I wouldn't do that.
Which I wasn't going to allow. I was going to say, okay, we're recording later, then you have to watch the movie. But you watched it.
I watched it. I started it yesterday in the airport. An airport which I spent about 7 hours in. It was certainly a movie.
We'll
if you want to call it.
I mean, we're going to have a good discussion then. No.
It's interesting. It's one of the more fascinating movies we've ever talked about on this show for a multitude of reasons. Also one of the funniest for a bunch of reasons as well. There's a couple just notes about this movie which just make me laugh out loud. But before I get into that, Andor, penultimate episode last week. Ken Jack and I have seen the final one as well. So again, we'll skirt around any crazy spoilers here. Yes. But Ken Jack, I think you. I mean, I love the last one as well, and I'll tell you the second to last one, the last one lives up to the hype. Well, what did you think?
Yeah, so I think the prison escape episode is still my favorite of this season, but the final episode I would say is my second favorite episode. It's like another thing where like a whole bunch of things coincide at the same time or kind of clash at the same exact time. And they like planned it out perfectly, really, really well put together, and just like a really awesome. I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Like a really good moment, which is again something Star Wars has been missing for a while. Like a moment where you're like, oh shit, like not Goosebumps, but as close as Star Wars is able to get you there to Goosebumps. So really, really like that. I think people are going to love it.
What did you guys think about Andor? We'll get one more, which is kind of crazy because it feels like we've been watching it for only like a month, but it was 12 fucking episodes, which is because. That's like almost double every Marvel series, it feels like, in terms of length.
Yeah, no. I'm a reviewer of the people. I haven't watched ahead. I'm not like the Empire. Like these guys.
You did watch ahead already. You already did that once.
Not this time. I'm with the people. One way out. This episode was obviously like there's a step. I don't want to call it like a step down from episode 10 because it's like still really great. But it was like a resetting, of course, like figure out where everybody's at. Went back to Space Miami. Love seeing that. I mean, I wish they did play the score again because that score was so sick. I've listened to that so many times. The Miato's Club Mix or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. It's so funny that they made that. This series just rules. I really like the stuff with Saw too. Like that. Like, is he gonna burn them? Like what? Like the political intrigue in this show is very well done. Like it's not hokey or anything. It's just cool. Fox, is just a cool character.
Oh no, say it is. It is. You're right. There's. I think that's a good word to use for it. It's not like even if like you don't fully like are on board. Like I know Chris, you've had some. You've liked it, but it's not been like your favorite. But I think it is the one thing. Like this could have been like epically terrible. Like this really could have been
That's
bad
true, yes.
because you're diving into things that people really hated from the prequels. Like people hated politics so much from the prequels that they blew up a planet in The Force Awakens just to make sure people knew we were never going to talk about politics in the sequel, which is ironic because that sequel series ended up being a mess for some people. But yeah, I must know, Ken Jack and I did say we were not going to watch the last two early because we did not get screeners. We logged off of the recording of this podcast. We got the screeners as we logged off, and then we were finished with both of them 2 hours later.
Yep. Like literally the second we closed the computer, immediately got the email with the screeners. And I was like, I don't know, fuck the people. I'm going to watch it right now. And
yeah. We thought we were we were being men of the people. We were like, fuck this shit. Yeah, Chris, where have you been the last few episodes in terms of Andor?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good show.
Do it. Eviscerate. I want to hear the opinion, the full ass opinion.
No.
But even to be fair, you didn't watch, like, you fell behind on, which, like, you've been more critical than us on it. Obviously, we haven't been at all critical. We've loved it, but like you just kind of stopped watching, like Boba Fett, for example.
No, I finished the series. That's not true. I did watch the whole series. This is so much better than that. This is, and people are just gonna have to deal with this. I'm not attached to Star Wars anymore, so like I don't really care. But I acknowledge it's a very well done show.
You are Harrison Ford.
Yes, dude. You know what? He might be my dad. That's like that. That may be the case because that's kind of how I feel at this point. I think that from a production standpoint, acting standpoint, I think that it is the best Star Wars TV property that we've seen outside of Mandalorian. I just don't really care. That's and I know that sucks to be honest.
What if that came out for like? At what point did you drop off
with Star Wars?
Yeah,
I mean, Rise of Skywalker was.
Yeah, that's a fair reason.
Was a big one. Boba Fett really, and Boba Fett and Obi-Wan kind of killed me because I thought Obi-Wan was the one where they were going to go all out. I thought that was going to be like. Okay, and again, I know they made this comparison, but like I thought that was going to be the Logan of the Star Wars universe, of like the really emotional kind of send off. It wasn't. It was just some manufactured process nothing show that was okay. So Andor's like I recommend Andor. If you like Star Wars, you're going to like Andor.
Do you give any credence to the criticism? And this one pops up on like our TikTok a ton. Is that it's just not a Star Wars show? Like it doesn't. Like, I'd say a lot of Star Wars fans, that's like, if they're going to have a criticism, that's been their go-to. Is like, oh, it's not real Star Wars. Like, you can't say that, right? Like, because there's no
that is. I have my criticisms. That's not one of them because the idea of like what is real Star Wars? That's an abstract thing. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, because you could argue that whatever the fuck George Lucas did with the prequels isn't real Star Wars
exactly.
either. Like that was such a departure from the originals.
Yeah, that's the one argument I have is when people say like Star Wars isn't Star Wars anymore. It's like, okay, well, you could argue it hasn't been since 1983. Like everyone has their own idea of what Star Wars is. You know what I mean? So I don't do that shit. I hate it when people are like, so-and-so movie ruined my childhood. Like if a film ruined your childhood, then you probably didn't have a childhood to begin with. I'm going to be honest with you. Like that's just complete nonsense. It's fine. It's good. I'm no longer invested in the world. But I acknowledge that it's a very well-made show. I am because I haven't been on the last few weeks. I don't understand really the idea that like it's this sweeping epic that should be winning every Emmy. Like I'm not on board with that, but it's fine. It's fine. And I
think it is actually going to be the first like real Emmy wins.
It might be, and I know that's
Plus, at least.
That's such a cop out on my part. Like if it does well, it does well. It's just it's personal taste. I don't I can't be like overly critical or overly in love with it one way or the other. It's just okay. This is fine.
It'll definitely pick up noms. It's going to be such a crowded year in terms of getting the wins.
Yeah, the Succession is coming out too. Which
and the Better Call Saul, the final season of Better Call Saul, and it's like been a huge thing. Them not winning Emmys. I could see that. being an issue, a roadblock for them. But yeah, no, this show has been just incredible. Just a nice breath of fresh air.
One more left, and there is a credit scene. Just going to give you that heads up now.
I know I've asked this a million times. Did they say it's a 2-season show?
Oh yeah, it's like before. Well, now the other thing is now people are like, we wish it was more than 2 seasons, but I don't know if they're going to back off that or not. And I don't know if they're going to find a way.
I bet they will.
There's a fairly large time jump already built into the next season though, which apparently gets it right to Rogue One. So I don't know, I don't know what they're going to do there. But yes, there is a credit scene. So just a heads up on that with for the last episode of Andor. Quickly, big Disney news. This was actually fucking crazy. Bob Chapek. Yeah, Bob Chapek. But yeah, Bob replaces Bob. The CEO of Disney is gone after 2 years, ousted after just a plethora of controversies. Bob Iger, who was a Disney CEO for 15 plus years, maybe more than that, back as CEO once again. This is maybe not a full Conan Leno situation because Chapek was widely hated within Disney, by everybody, and was given 2 years. But also, there was a moment that you could probably compare more Leno-Conan. This is the timeline of it. Iger finally stepped down after years of saying he was done. Then came back and helped Chapek through the COVID-19 pandemic. Chapek was not happy with that. Recently, the streaming business, they said, lost $1.5 billion despite having some growth. Other issues while Bob Chapek was CEO, the Scarlett Johansson contract issue is probably the most public, there's 2 public things. This is probably the most public thing with just the business side of things. Bob Iger is apparently pretty pissed about how Bob Chapek handled the ScarJo thing. Chapek is known significantly less publicly political, a much bigger penny pincher, a money guy, not a content guy. There was the big controversy with what is widely known as the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. He did not come out and really do anything about it or condemn it initially. Everyone in the company was really mad about that. Then he came out and said something. Then because he said something, Disney lost their special tax status in Florida. So that created a whole mess of problems. Though I will note, not to make this too much of a political topic, I saw people replying last night saying, wow, Disney, he went woke, and now they're not going woke. Bob Iger significantly more left than Bob Chapek.
They all are. Eisner was too. It's not. This isn't some.
People thought Iger was going to run for president as a crazy. It is absolutely not why Bob Chapek was. The Florida thing definitely played a factor, but Bob Iger was way more vocal about the bill in Florida, and he definitely would have gone harder back at DeSantis. So I crazy to think that's the case. One of our coworkers, Eddie, he asked what were some of the problems? And someone's like, well, it definitely was Lightyear. I'm like, no, Bob Chapek was not out because people didn't love Lightyear.
Pinocchio.
Sorry.
Pinocchio killed Bob Chapek.
Fucking $500 billion company. They're like, sorry, man. Fucking Lightyear didn't get expectations.
Politics is a disease. It's if you search Chapek or Disney woke, people are like, oh yeah, they're gonna go unwoke now. They're gonna be real bummed out when they find out who Bob Iger is and that he was already CEO. And only 2 years ago. But the internal issues are the other thing. He was a disaster. He's like a parks guy. He pissed off the employees of the parks. He pissed off the creatives of the parks. Okay. And he pissed off the guests.
Everyone.
That's tough.
Parks people hated him. That's all I need to know. Once you piss off people, that's game over. People underestimate how big the parks business is for Disney, too, I think.
Yeah.
It is a massive sector of their business.
That's kind of the thing is the problem with Chapek was the Michael Eisner story is very interesting. Michael Eisner was a CEO prior to Bob Iger, and he did a lot of really good things on the creative sides and the Disney Renaissance. He lost kind of his right-hand man in a pretty horrific helicopter crash.
Yeah.
And things kind of went awry from there, but he was a disaster with the parks. Disneyland Paris was a nightmare. It's kind of better now, or Euro Disney is what it was called back then.
Have you ever, real quick, Jeff, I bet you, or you're at least familiar with it. Have you ever watched that YouTube series Defunct Land?
Yeah, it's a great series.
It's brilliant, and it's I learned so much about the Michael Eisner era at Disney, and through that. And so if people want to get caught up on how things went there, that's a perfect introduction, I feel like.
But even Eisner had some good shit.
Of course.
Chapek, nothing. Like, if you're going to stink at Parks, you got to be good with all the other stuff. It's got to be one or the other. And the ScarJo thing is definitely like one of his biggest, like, really bad spots throughout all this. So now you got to.
All you need to know is I have this pulled up right here. Disney stocks opened up 10% higher this morning.
That's
Yeah,
like,
is this like, and Jeff, you know more than I would. Is this like Tom Brady being like, all right, fuck it, I'll come out of retirement, like with Bob Iger? Like, is he going to be a long-term option here, or is it just like the previous guy was so bad? We're just.
What did they say? They say 2 years. Is that what they said? I think I've already
did they
initially
really?
seen.
I didn't see.
Yeah, they're going to find a new person. Apparently, Iger told people probably like that his biggest regret at Disney was having Bob Chapek be a successor. It's kind of funny. It's like really funny Succession, like Logan Roy. But it's clearly been a disaster. So now Iger's back. I don't know how much it's going to change for like the media side of things. Iger obviously was a big creative guy. I know Iger's very close with Kevin Feige. So I don't know how that's going to change
this could be
those things, but I think the
VFX.
parks where you're really going to see it.
I think this could be big for the VFX because it's been obvious that there's been a
Good point.
They've pushed they haven't been prioritizing getting these VFX teams paid, and they've clearly been rushing them. And that feels like a Chapek culture thing versus like an Iger.
Yeah.
All accounts, Iger is very like creatives love him. They love working.
Yeah, the creatives hated Chapek.
Yeah, so like I could see that being.
It's just also funny to say. Like Ken just said, it's Bob on Bob crime.
I'm curious how that works too, because because number one, why would you want a penny pincher like Chapek in anyway? Because you're the richest company on fucking earth other than Amazon. Like you spend money. That should be the one objective of Disney. And second of all, with the VFX, it seemed more noticeable than ever in the last wave of Marvel projects and most Disney stuff in general. And I would assume that Iger would use some of this like insane amount of capital Disney has to like maybe just get another VFX studio, maybe just buy more VFX artists to do this sort of shit instead of like overtaxing the people you already have. So that would be awesome. Yeah, just do something like make a Disney Academy of VFX or something. Just start.
The reason they don't do it is because they can unionize if they have their own in-house, but like whatever.
That's true. Bob Iger, big time union buster. So be careful for that one.
Bob Iger, also a big time fan of One Bite Pizza reviews on BarstoolSports.com.
People forget.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
He dropped it very randomly in an interview one, like in a magazine interview, like a Variety or something. Because I love the One Bite reviews, like Dave Portnoy stuff. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, you know what? You got to make Dave Portnoy the new Stan Lee of the MCU. Give Dave Portnoy the cameos in Marvel movies.
It would be so funny watching him try to pronounce half the Marvel characters' names. It'd be so like him being like describing Black Panthers. Like
you name your fucking hammer Mjolnir.
Yeah, Mjolnir. What the fuck is it? Like, it'd be so funny.
Bob Iger, a tall dude too. It says he's 6'1", but I'm pretty sure he's much taller.
Is he really? I think Michael Eisner was too. Also, I could be wrong.
He's a presence. See, I met him 2 times when I was working at Disney. One time he was doing like a town hall in the office, just a crazy presence. The other time, maybe my favorite thing was for The Force Awakens. J.J. Abrams was on set for a Force Awakens interview, and Iger's walking around with a small remote control BB-8, just showing it off to everybody. That's just what he was doing.
Man, I like Force Awakens, but do you remember how proud they were of BB-8? They put that shit front and center, being like, "This is a practical effect. This is our creation. This is Disney, motherfucker." And it's like
that was cool,
nothing will ever beat that.
When they showed like the back behind the scenes of BB-8, I was like, "Damn, that is kind of impressive." Like a lot of like how they managed the technical aspect of how BB-8 managed to do the gyroscopically stable shit. That shit was cool to me. I don't know.
I'm not disagreeing. It's just like they put BB-8 front and center, being like, "This is our creation." Like,
more so than the
that
actual
Star Wars
movie.
celebration. Yeah, that Star Wars celebration panel was always like that's always gonna be one of the wildest like any panels for anything.
I think at that panel, J.J. Abrams came out first, and before Daisy Ridley or Oscar Isaac, BB-8 came out like next to him. They were in love with that.
Fucking nerds.
They did the same thing with
the robot. Oh,
And then what was the one from the last one, like Dio or something like that? Like, and they brought that guy, and they're like, "Yeah, check this one out. We got a brand new robot," and that one stunk.
It's like that's not that Rolly one's not as cool as the
Not
other
nearly
Rolly
as cool
one.
as BB-8. Sorry to say.
Hi, I'm director James Cameron, here to introduce my new streaming service, OnlyCam. Did you know that almost 75% of Americans are subscribed to each of the big 3 streaming services in some way? That's pretty mundane, isn't it? I hear these regular, everyday people that I often interact with, complaining about seeing the same titles from service to service, month after month. But I think I've finally found the solution for all you cinephiles out there. As you may know, after 20 years of research and development, I've been able to release one Avatar movie. But that's not all. I've also invented an entirely new streaming service with titles you are sure to have never seen. My dreams. Just last night I had a dream that I was imprisoned. But in that prison I found a mystical beacon that produced a friendly djinn when I rubbed it. I fell in love with a beautiful princess with a pet tiger, and we were able to defeat an evil sorcerer and live happily ever after, riding off into the moonlight on a flying rug. Now, doesn't that sound like something you'd like to see? Something original? Now, how it works is you'll just lay in bed as you would at night, and you're gonna have a hole in the middle of your bed. It's in the middle, and you're gonna dock into that hole. Just dock into the hole that's at the middle of your bed. Just dock in it. Now that's gonna allow you to connect straight into my nighttime escapades. Doesn't that sound amazing? You're gonna see brand new titles that you've never seen before, completely original. They're original. They're not rip-offs of anything else or any animated movies or anything like that. So make sure to look for my new streaming service, OnlyCam. Get it? It's like OnlyFit. It's Cameron. OnlyCam. Coming in your bed soon.
Quentin Tarantino has made many comments about things he wants to do, though oddly no details whatsoever. Not in a giant hurry to make his last movie. He did say, though, that his next movie will be his last. He's been very firm about that for a while, and I do believe him. He did say, though, his next project will be a limited series in 2023. He once directed 2 episodes of CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, back in 2005. He's done it before. It's hilarious. No details on yet what he could do. There's always been those rumored, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood type things, but I don't think that's going to be what it is.
No.
But he said he's going to do a limited series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, though, but that's Tarantino's next project.
Out of all the comments he made, out of all the comments he made, I love how he always comes around to being like, cinema stinks nowadays. And then he's like, yeah, I'm not making any more movies. It's like, well, if you think cinema stinks so bad, make more movies. We want more Quentin Tarantino. But I would love to watch a Quentin Tarantino series, because I do feel like half the time he does have a much longer story in mind with every movie. Like, and he usually gets away with making them really long, but just divide that up into a couple episodes, like, you'd have something really special. I mean, why wouldn't he be as successful at TV writing versus movie writing? Especially, it's like, I feel like most of the talent that you would normally see in dramatic movie writing has now been moved over, or in movie writing, has been moved over to TV writing. Like, they have so much better like prestige as far as like actual technical execution of drama. So yeah, get Tarantino on the horn. I also rewatched From Dusk Till Dawn 2 days ago. I forgot completely, and we all know Quentin Tarantino is a foot freak, but I forgot completely the scene where he has
Salma
Hayek's foot in his mouth and runs liquor down into his mouth, and he's just sitting there on camera in the movie sucking on Salma Hayek's toes. I forgot that scene.
That was probably the greatest day of his life. I mean,
oh my God, yeah,
had to have been. Yeah,
he beats off to that to this day. Like, that's option number 1A in his spank bank is that moment.
Okay, so is it? And correct me if I'm wrong. Is this a replacement for his quote unquote final film, or is he gonna make one?
No.
Okay, no. He's still making one.
He will be making another one.
Yeah, no, I mean, he implied very heavily that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had a lot that was on the cutting room floor that, like, I think this is where the inspiration came from, because he kind of implied that there could have been a mini-series just about that movie. So I think that's kind of where it came from. Now, what was bizarre is I woke up today and he was on fucking Tom Segura's podcast, which is fucking crazy to me. Yeah, no, dude, I mean, what currently, is there any director who's been as consistent as him, like ever? You know, I know he doesn't have the longevity of a Spielberg or some of these other guys, but like he's one of the. Some men were just born to do certain things. Quentin Tarantino was meant to direct movies and shows, so I have no, qualms about where this is going to go. I think he's going to do a great job with this. Yeah,
he doesn't take a lot of shots, but I feel like every shot he makes sure he can make it. You know what I mean?
He's got a high batting average. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I don't think he'll ever rush a movie or ever like if he's not 100% into an idea or whatever's going on with the production of the movie, and he'll never go through with it. Like he's like, I want everything to be exactly the way I planned it out in my big weird head. Otherwise, just nothing's going to happen. That's it. And I appreciate that about him versus other.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
I just want to know what it's going to be. Like it's going to be alternate history, right? Like that's been his jam forever. But I mean, what's left?
This also, he's like the last. He's one of the last, and actually, Jordan Peele kind of has this now too. But like, he is one of the very few, and maybe the last in terms of like big releases, like directors who can release an original thing, and it's not. Yeah, Nolan's up there too. Yeah. But like even Tarantino, you could even say more because of just like the material he uses, like. And like Nolan's done Batman and stuff. But yeah, Nolan, Tarantino, you could probably put Peele in there a little bit now. Though I guess Peele's done 3 and they've been pretty big fucking deals. Yeah. But yeah, he's just one of the last few where you go, I want to see a Tarantino movie. You don't got to know what it is.
Was that his point on speaking to like the decades that he finds like are the worst and the best? Is like he feels there's too many studio directors today that are like just in-house directors, and probably that felt that way about the 80s too, which there's a lot of blockbusters then too. I was kind of unsure on like what his point was there.
He said the 80s and the 50s sucked. Both of those decades do have great movies, but to his point, and we had looked this up in the long take.
I mean, the 90s
and 70s just it's like the cream of the crop is so much larger than it is in those decades versus the decades he was talking about in the 80s and the 50s. So I get where he's coming from in that sense anyway.
The biggest problem with theaters and movies in Hollywood now is still just access. There are a lot of really good movies released every year. There's so many good ones this year, but if you look at like what are considered quote unquote the best, and it is subjective, you can't find almost any of them anywhere. Like it's very hard to find these movies outside of New York and LA.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe Chicago a little bit, but like it's access. Like Black Panther, I really like Black Panther. I wouldn't enjoyed it. Made a shitload of money, but like. And I get why. Like they're going to make a lot more money showing Black Panther than they are going to show in, After Sun, produced by Barry Jenkins. Like that's just going to be what it is. But you pull up like the AMC in Times Square on opening night of Black Panther, and it's going to be the same case it was very similar for Black Adam. It's the same thing for anything that's a comic book movie or like a big tentpole. It's like fucking 60 showings. Like they're not showing anything else.
No, when I was in Chicago, I was in Chicago when I saw Black Panther. They had showings for it every 30 minutes until like 8 p.m. Yeah.
You look at the app sometimes for those types of movies. The Batman was the same way. You're like, where do they even have room for this? Like, where are the like? There's like 10 theaters in here. How are they showing this movie this many times? It's crazy.
I feel like part of that is just like if you're a movie theater, right? Like, and you have the choice of either airing Banshees of Inisherin or Black Adam for the 18th week in a row. Like, you're gonna pick Black Adam. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like people probably want to go see Banshees of Inisherin, but not enough versus like a family who just decides one day, oh, let's go see a movie. What's in the theater? Black Adam, done. Like, you know what I mean? None of those people are like that want to just go on a casual day are going to pick a Banshees of Inisherin or other good.
It's
all right.
I don't even think there's any.
All right,
there's no real good solution. Is the problem?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like. Because people say, like, well, stop going to see the comic book movies. Well, if you do that, then these studios aren't making any fucking money. They're not making the other movies anyway. So it's like, I don't know. It's like,
did you see Jennifer Lopez went off on that?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Jennifer Aniston?
Known cinephile Jennifer.
No, Jennifer Lopez did this morning.
What the fuck is going on? What are these old
Jennifers? But
She's
did
all
you
back
see
to the most
TikTok
gorgeous
went
women on earth.
viral? Or like the TikTok that got like posted on Twitter and like everything, it noted that she was like basically like, look, like if you don't do a comic book movie, you got and you do a smaller movie, the only option to do the smaller movie is you're just not going to make a lot of money. But then they were like, she got $8.3 million to do "Marry Me" with Owen Wilson.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah. If that was a struggling indie actress, I'd be like, okay, I get it. You're Jennifer Lopez. Like if you make 1.5 million taking out your trash in the morning, like it's sorry. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. There's like two big directors and one movie star, and that's Tom Cruise. Like that's just what it comes down to.
You know how Tarantino always like references just other movies endlessly in his own films. I hope he just references other TV shows this time.
Yeah,
Goes back to like old TV shows. That'd be awesome.
80 for Brady. A horny Tom Brady movie. We'll get to this in 2 seconds. This episode presented by Manscaped. Never too early to play the old holiday music. Never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend, friends you know, family, anybody. Maybe yourself. Gift yourself. You can make it a holiday season with Manscaped. Manscaped always does some nice little jokes and quips, and this year they're going with Santa cares about his sack, and so should you.
They're always good at this, man. They're the best ad copywriters that I think we've ever experienced.
They do. They and I will read it every time. Look nice, depending on when you got to be naughty or nice, by going to manscaped.com. Use code LIGHTS, LIGHTS, for free shipping and 20% off. The Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. You get the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer, great trimmer, nick-safe technology. You're not going to slice yourself open. Somewhere. Also, it stays charged for years. I think I've charged that thing one time. Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Remember, don't pick your nose hair. You can die. 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, body wash, deodorant, aluminum free. There you go. Manscaped Daily News. We save balls. What a great little thing to throw in there. I love that. The Manscaped Daily News newspaper. Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Ball Spray. Get 20% off free shipping with code LIGHTS, LIGHTS, at manscaped.com. At 20% off of free shipping at manscaped.com and use code LIGHTS. The newspaper comes with, a little way to design your pubes different ways. I like that. That's a Twitter bird. One of them, the Twitter bird. Interesting.
I did myself
Manscaped,
like a reverse Brazilian one time, or a landing strip. So it's just just a landing strip, a bald spot straight to my dick.
Get your balls ready. Get your balls ready this holiday season. Manscaped, code LIGHTS, LIGHTS.
Looks like George Costanza.
Big ass newspaper. We save balls. I was holding it up like Dewey defeats Sherman.
I'm going to move on. I was into Twitter. We don't out of respect for the old troll balls. We won't get into Twitter. That was a banner moment last week on Twitter. I never thought Twitter was going to shut down. It never existed.
That was so annoying.
That was that 15 minutes where people were doing those weirdo threads. Like, well, if this is my last tweet, it's like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking
Especially
about?
Like the legitimate ones. I use that as an excuse to do a TikTok thread, which I always just need a reason to do them. That's
different though.
Yeah, but people are like,
funny content.
Here's my last thread of my favorite tweets from Barack Obama. It's like, shut up, bitch. Like,
no, I tossed out like a food graphic. Like it was like there was some funny stuff on there, no doubt. But then there was really weird, like sentimental, mildly creepy threads. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is happening? 80 for Brady. Speaking of weird, a new movie coming out about Tom Brady. Kind of. He's in it. 4 best friends live life to the fullest when they embark on a wild trip to see their hero, Tom Brady, playing the 2017 Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons. Produced by Tom Brady, starring 4 titans of acting.
That's
Lily
the weird
Tomlin,
part of
Jane
this.
Fonda,
Yes.
Rita Moreno, and Sally Field. It is the weirdest movie. It's just about 4 friends who want to see Tom Brady. There's a funny production note that they found out Tom Brady unretired. Like, well, we had to adapt to that. Like, it didn't really work in their plans. But they're doing the 2017. He wasn't going to retire after 2017.
Right,
And it was so confused.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway, because that was like, I mean, we're all sports fans. That was like the crowning achievement of his career was the 28-3.
Yeah.
So.
There's a Guy Fieri cameo in this.
Multiple.
Yeah. It's just it's weird. Tom Brady's in the movie too. He's acting in the movie. It's just a weird movie and premise, and also like the characters are acting like going to the Super Bowl is like climbing Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Super Bowl's not cheap to go to. Like, don't get me wrong, it's expensive to go to the Super Bowl. But like they're treating like they're just treating this like it's like the greatest achievement that 4 people have ever like done in their lives. It's so weird, and it's part of the horny old people cinematic universe now.
Exactly. Why are they so horny? What are they doing this to Sally Field for? She just doesn't deserve this.
Yeah. I hope just for more than anything, this movie's going to be ass, sure. But I hope all 4 of them got a bag for it, and because they deserve it. They deserve to do a movie like this where it's just shitty, but they get paid a lot of money for it.
They got 4 for tickets to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Chris, I know you were most fired up about the scene where they roll their fists around and they say Tom Brady, and they're in front of like what's like 1 row of seats on a green screen.
It looks like the Lakers scene in Jack and Jill.
Yes,
where it's like 2 rows of seats. Okay, I'm about to say something that's going to shock you. This is not going to be a very good movie. I don't think it's going to be as bad.
No!
How dare you?
I know. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the trailer makes it.
No, that's a good take. I think that's actually a good take.
And I'll tell you, the reason for it is, as you brought up, Jeff, these are 4 like titans of cinema. Like they're Academy Award nominated, Academy Award. It could be one of those things that's like, it's not going to be good. Like it's a February,
right.
Fuck you, it's February, release. But I bet they'll be good in it to a point where it won't be one of those like this is worst of the year movies. I don't
think it's a hot take either.
I'm not championing it, but like, dude, like people like these are all of these women have been acting in movies for like 6 decades. So regardless of whether or not the material is good, I bet they'll kind of find a way to make it.
Let me present a counterpoint to your point, Chris. And would you say that Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy are titans of cinema?
Oh boy, I like that. Yeah. I like that movie, so I can't.
I love that.
I like Wild Hogs. Now, okay. To answer your question, though, not to the level that these people are. That's we're talking 3 Academy Award winners and 1 Academy Award nominee. This conversation for another day. John Travolta's a movie star. He's never been that great of an actor. So him being in Wild Hogs, getting blowing up Ray Liotta's bar, that I think that's kind of on brand. Like you know what I mean? I get what you're saying, but I feel like I think it's going to be one of those movies that we're going to come out of being like, okay, that wasn't good. But it would have been way more insufferable if not for the fact that these 4 actresses are all genuinely charming in everything they do. Like Marina Moreno was fucking amazing in the West Side Story remake. She was like, I'm surprised she didn't get an Academy Award nomination. So yeah, I mean, like it looks like a made for TV movie. Like that's the other big thing. Like the production value too. You just brought it up. Like it should probably be aired on ABC Family or whatever, whatever the equivalent is. And now at this point, but like, I don't think it's going to be as bad as, some people have made it out.
Well, tough bar to clear on that trailer. You know what I mean? Not really.
Well, exactly. They're lowering the expectations, but I'm just
maybe good. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
80 for Brady.
I can't believe this movie is releasing in theaters.
That's another part of it too.
This has streaming. This is like a streaming thing, big time.
Yeah. It's going to be released in like more theaters than Banshees of Inisherin for sure. Like or anything like that, or any of the prestige movies.
Yeah, I got another a movie that I'm gonna release as a response to it. It's called 4.5 for Fonda.
4.5 for Fonda. I don't get it. Explain the joke for me.
I hate that. I hate that.
Give me an explanation.
Yeah, wait. I don't know this either. Yeah.
You'll get there.
Because I have to do an ad read in 5 seconds, I'm not allowing him to explain that.
I'll text you afterwards.
The 80 for Brady. We will definitely be reviewing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
We by the way, we have a new movie that people are mad we haven't reviewed yet, and it's All Quiet on the Western Front. A good movie.
Cinematography,
not anymore.
Long.
Yeah, not anymore. We'll not be reviewing that movie. Ridge Wallet, our next sponsor. Ultra slim minimalist wallet. Holds up to 12 cards, plus room for cash. The Ridge Wallet's been around for a while. Over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium, made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers if you're not an idiot, I guess, and you don't want stuff ruined.
Dude,
Is it the little Swiss Army thing?
This is the key silhouette. That's also on that ad copy. It's so cool, dude. It's like so handy. Like I keep it in here. Like I hate having the keys in my pocket where it's like all jumbled up. And like
my thing is like broken right now, so the keys just come apart, and so I just need to carry 3 keys in my pocket.
So I hate that. And like this, you just do you put it like this, and it's almost like you're turning like a screwdriver. Like you just put it in and just. It's so I love it.
And good leverage. Yeah. That's good leverage. All right. So yeah, also not just the wallet, which many people use. The wallet's been popular for a long time. They have that little key. The little key thing, which is awesome. I need to just get the key thing.
Yeah,
I have the wallet. I need the key thing. The silhouette secures anywhere from 2 to 6 keys. It organizes your keys in a compact silhouette, fold out for easy access. 6 colors, styles, all that and more, and gives you a little leverage. You know.
And it's like you see the little groove there. You don't need to like struggle trying to get it out. You just go whoop, and they're all out. It's great.
Get the best offer at ridge.com/LCB. Save up to 40% through December 22nd. That is a fucking steal. Get the wallet, get the key thing. Those are great stocking stuffers. Fantastic stocking stuffers. Ridge.com/LCB. Key silhouette, the slim minimalist wallet. People love these when they use them. Everyone who I know uses a Ridge wallet loves a Ridge wallet. Through December 22nd, 40% off. Save now, ridge.com/LCB. Interview with Thomas Lennon. We talked. This was fun. He was willing to play. We had a good time with him. We were in there for like 45 minutes with him.
So good on. I was
draft.
Not. Mm-hmm. He was so good on the draft. Like because usually people like we catch them off guard and they're not prepared. Like he came in.
He was telling great stories too. He told some good like Joe Latruglio stories and like it was Thomas Lennon. They got the new Christmas special, Reno 911 Christmas special. We interviewed him.
Oh, yeah, and we have a very funny picture of all 4 of us together that we're going to post on the account later. Gooch has it.
Oh, I'm going to post that right now, actually.
All right, we are joined mildly in person.
I am.
Ken Jack's in person with him. We talked to him a long time ago, but we talked about Reno 911. We're doing it again. Thomas Lennon, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, lads.
How are you?
Things are amazing. I took the subway here, so I am clammy as
nice
farts.
Which line is it the one?
I did. I was on the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, clammy. Oh, so clammy in so many parts.
That's
guys.
a clammy line.
Did you have a warm subway car?
Not only did I have a warm subway car, Google Maps warned me the car was going to be too hot.
They're like you're going to be a clammy one.
You're going to be a clammy. They're going to be like
moist
you're gonna
car.
Have some swamp ass when you get. I got a Google swamp ass alert.
Jesus.
Which what was weird was how accurate it was.
100% of users in your car are reporting swamp ass, looking up symptoms on the WebMD.
Yeah, right. It's not right. If you weren't at Woodstock 99,
listen, for those who don't come to New York,
I was just saying if you weren't at Woodstock 99, riding the subway these days gives you that experience between the trench mouth and the Limp Bizkit guys going by overhead on boards.
Exactly, yeah.
Which weirdly did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff,
they actually Limp Bizkit drives the subway.
They run the MTA.
I don't know if you knew that.
Oh man, are we starting more Limp Bizkit feuds?
Exactly, yeah.
Let's do this.
we if you don't live in New York, like this is the time of year where the cars become super clammy.
Oh God Almighty!
And you get that hot car now and then. But it's been warm in New York, so like it's not been a good combo where you're now actually sweating off the street, and then it's a warm winter car.
I'll tell you what I did, guys, just to be a dick this morning. Down there in the subway platform. Mm-hmm. We'll get to plug-in movies later. So I'm down on the subway platform, and I'm like, I want to get on a car that's going to have some space. And I look down the bench, and there is some mofo just shaking in his chair,
going nuts,
waiting for the train. And this guy, this guy is a powder keg. And I'm like, I'm going to go by that guy.
Just see what happens.
Right. I'm going to get right. I'm like, look, I'm Irish. I like kicking up. I like dust ups.
Yeah.
If something goes off, I'm the perfect guy to have next to this guy.
Exactly.
I'm also vaguely seem like a cop.
Yeah, I could see that. The mustache is a little.
Hey, fella.
Exactly. That's a great cop voice. So your on-screen cop voice works.
Let me see them teats. Or, I could do. That's not something I would say, obviously. Yeah. But,
I mean, you might want to.
Well, I might. Actually might.
Nice.
So it was a weird choice this morning. I was like, I'm going to go right by the crazy guy because he's going to keep, it's like a cloaking device.
Exactly.
He's going to keep some folks away. He's going to keep some hipsters away from him. Yeah.
Yeah. You get way less attention.
Good segue for Reno 911. You mentioned it's a wonderful heist, holiday special. A long holiday specials are typically I feel like they're 25, 30 minutes. This is a nice, meaty holiday special.
It's a roast.
Full ass movie.
It's a full, thick Bush de Noël.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
You just dropped that.
The synopsis is very funny.
So this is a...
The synopsis is it's a holiday season in Reno, and Lieutenant Dangle wishes he hadn't been born with the help of a roller skating angel. But then
I think we should probably
by now.
I think if you were to look at the IMDb,
you could figure it out.
I think it's this is cool because this is the first place I'm actually saying it. But this is the glorious return of Nick Swardson to Reno 911. So Nick has a very choice role in Reno 911. It's a Wonderful Heist, which is on actual Comedy Central. So everyone who's been griping at me for the past decade about quit being on Quibi, quit being on CISO, quit being on, we were on a lot of dumb channels, guys.
Yeah.
And all we did was rack up Emmys. But this is Nick Swardson, Reno 911. It's on actual Comedy Central on December 3rd.
When he showed up on screen, it was very much like, I was like, has he not been on in a very long time?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, so they gave us a screener ahead of time. So
you've seen the picture?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, God.
So we saw that when he shows up in the opening, was like 5 minutes or something like that. I was just like, holy shit, is that him? And you make the joke, you're just like, Terry, is that you? And he's like, oh, I'm the Christmas elf. Like, that's not me.
I don't want to spoil it, but Nick is amazing in the picture.
He's so good.
It's a full 2-hour picture. It is a Christmas movie, a holiday movie, in as much as anything Reno 911 does is sincere. So, but it's got some sincere moments. It's got a lot of your favorites. You got Michael Ian Black shows up. You got Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah,
that's a great part.
the silver nugget is.
Oh yeah. Very fair.
Okay, no more spoil. I'm not. No more spoiling anything.
I think we could say what the movie's about without spoiling it. So it's Reno 911. It's a Wonderful Heist. It's on December 3rd on Comedy Central. Bobby Moynihan is the owner of the local Sierra Nugget Mall, who wants us to protect. He's got a silver nugget that's on display in the mall, and we have to protect it right around the holidays because someone's been threatening to kidnap it. It ain't brain surgery. You can watch Reno 911 with your dog usually. So, but it's a fun heist movie.
I prefer you not talk about my wife that way. But yeah, she's gonna hear that too. She's gonna get mad.
Any mall content, by the way, if it's a mall, we're always in.
We're mall people.
Whether it's this Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie.
Here's the thing about malls,
always
which is
malls.
Weird. So we started scouting malls because we wanted to make this Christmas picture in a mall, and we found out it's really hard to film in malls these days.
Dawn of the Dead probably screwed that.
Can you guess why?
Is it not Dawn of the Dead? What is it?
Stranger Things.
Oh,
like Stranger Things, the mall season made malls so hip again, weirdly, like everywhere. So it was really hard for us to find a mall. And then when we did, it was so dodgy. Oh, it was a real dodgy mall.
Gotcha.
I will say, I'm going to give one little spoiler to the picture.
Okay.
Because it's a kind of a fun story from the set. So if you ever go to a place where there's a bouncy house, a bouncy playground or a ball pit, something like that. So part of this movie, we're filming a scene with Niecy Nash in this fun ball pit. Niecy plays TT. That's her other character. And at one point I appear, they just find me in these bouncy houses because that's where I'm doing my workouts now. Because it's cheaper than the gym. So I'm in a jockstrap and a headband just bouncing around in this bouncy house out in this mall in the valley. And we filmed the scene. And I was basically nude in their bouncy house for about 3.5, 4 hours, being chased by Niecy or chasing Niecy with everybody. And then, we wrapped and I put on some clothes and I walked by the I walked by the bouncy house a little later, and I got to hear the guy who ran it telling a group of people that were coming in that it was limpissima. It was the cleanest it could possibly be. And I was like, I was just in there in a jockstrap for 3 hours running around.
That's filled right now
it's not
with Legionnaire's disease.
It's not limpissima.
It's absolutely not the cleanest.
It's the opposite of limpissima. But, so I mean, just
has at least one bead of sweat.
Yeah, for shizzles.
It's funny you mentioned the mall thing too, just because I'm curious if after something like Stranger Things happens in a mall, if that drives up the price of rental.
Oh, for sure.
Space for sure, right?
Yeah. Oh,
they set the market price for it.
Sure.
That must be a pain in the ass. So how fun, one thing I've always been curious about was just how fun this cast is to work with. Just because you guys are always like super willing to get back in the saddle, and not a lot of casts are like super down to do that. You know, a lot of them are like, oh, I don't like this person. I don't like this person. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So like you guys are always, we're down.
It's
we're going to do something.
It's a stunningly upbeat crew. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's always fun because it's like, it's fun, but everyone in the cast has gotten so busy that the scenes are always just insane. Because like the last movie we made, Niecy was filming like Dahmer every other day. Yeah. So she would literally like be like eating feet with Jeff Dahmer, trying to have Jeff Dahmer serve her feet sandwiches. Yes. And then her next day she's like playing TT in Reno. So the scheduling is always intense, but it's a high class problem because everybody, obviously almost every single person in the cast has some other show of their own
going on. Yeah.
But that's what's kind of nice about it is like once everyone's back in the Reno outfits, you can tell when you see us sitting around the table, it's like nothing's planned. There's there's no agenda. It's just like really the only thing that happens in like the group scenes is I'm trying to make Wendy laugh now is like my only job by making up different, whoever the sponsor is, because we've like basically run out of money and got defunded. So now we just have these like really weird sponsors like Soup Gorilla and Fugly Nubs and things like that. So, but no, it's like an amazing bunch, and not only that, the extended like Wanru Sang, who plays Cindy the Sex Slave, returns.
That's a very funny scene.
Yeah, there's some great cameos in this one. Jim Jeffries makes an appearance. Oh, you've seen the picture.
Yeah.
Jim Jeffries makes an amazing appearance in a scene called. Does this spoil anything? No, I'm not going to say what it is. But Jim Jeffries makes a really amazing early appearance in the film.
How much have you guys evolved?
There's some sing-along moments.
Sing-along moments, yeah.
Oh, there's several sing-along moments. Yeah.
The comedy space has like evolved a ton from when you guys started. At least I started like 2003, and like the comedy space has totally evolved. So how have you guys kind of kept up with the times on that?
What's interesting, and I think this might be true of like, if you look at a lot of our like catalog, and I'll go back to even like the State on this.
We're big State fans too. So
thanks, guys. We're never ever doing timely things like ever. I think like more than anything, we haven't changed. We haven't kept up with anything because like we never did timely stuff on the State. Like Viva Variety was just weird. That was just like an experimental. It was like a John Waters film that was a TV show somehow. And then on Reno, I think we've always just like. Well, the other one on Reno is that I think, a lot of cop shows went away, because everything was sort of glorifying stuff. But since we've never been a glorifying show, we've been a show about a bunch of weirdos doing whippets and like trying to dry hump each other. That was always what the show was about. So like, yeah, in some way I feel like we've just sort of stayed the course by not really we're never a reactionary thing. We very seldom do, once in a great while we did the QAnon movie.
Yeah.
Because like they wanted it. That was the title that they pitched us.
Yes.
Literally they gave us the title. They're like, can you do that? And we're like, I can't see why not.
You did have one good timely joke in this that was right off the top, so I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. The Matt Damon.
Oh, thank you.
Crypto commercial. It was very funny because that commercial was very swaying. I was watching. I'm like, would Matt Damon lie to me?
He's so cool, and he's walking. He's like, I'm walking, and I'm looking so cool.
He's like, cryptocurrency.
And I got a beautiful mind. What am I? Yeah, like
cryptocurrency is those apples. So you should really try it out sometime.
That was crazy.
That was the line.
Especially
that sold me.
We're sitting here today. Like, didn't one of those markets completely collapsed?
Combusted. to smithereens. It is gone forever. Like,
as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was January of this year.
Yes, it wasn't that old.
It was really recently.
Yeah.
There's also a great Alanis Morissette joke in that.
Yes.
I'm excited for her to see those. So let's not say what it is. But yes,
Hey, Jack,
yes,
mentioned
sir.
the state. I don't. You mentioned like comedy now, the comedy space. I don't think we asked you this last time. You know, how, like these days, like a younger generation will see a clip from like Seinfeld, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so offensive! Cancel Jerry Seinfeld." Old fashioned guy would ruin lives.
It was so funny because there's so many like weird right wing politicians that do commercials now, and people always tag me in them. Because it's like me whittling. If you don't know what Old Fashioned Guy was, it was an old state sketch where I'm just standing by a lake whittling wood and whistling in a seersucker. And I'm always like, call me old fashioned if you like. But I believe that there's only one true God. And he lives in this lake. And his name is Zorgo. So like he's just like it was always just weird shit. But then like somehow Rick Scott started running for office and like people would just
The ad is very simple.
The ads are like basically exactly the same. And then I feel like DeSantis too. It's like women voters, not if we don't have to. I mean, you're like, was that Old Fashioned guy or was that the real guy who's running? Yeah.
And that's sort of something. Sometimes it almost I think Hurt's comedy where it's like it's beyond parody. It's like this should be like well beyond what anyone should be doing, and then they just do it.
There's a couple of those. There's a thing that people endlessly send to us, and it's like a DUI pullover where the guy ends up doing a dance together.
Mm-hmm.
People send it to us all the time, and they're like, "You should do something like that." And I'm like, "That was from our pilot episode of the show." Like, yeah,
already got there.
Yep.
What are some of your favorite Christmas specials or Christmas movies? Something like along those lines. Well, shorter form.
There is a real obvious one is I cannot get through Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Wow.
Weeping. I will just weep like crazy because like little Emmett Otter's got his mom and then they got to go and then it gets crazy and they got to go play against the river bottom thing.
Something like that. Yeah.
The river bottom nightmare. Yeah. Oh, that's a great special.
Yeah.
That'll make me cry. If you've never seen, by the way, a really good friend of mine, Peter Bainham, who wrote Borat.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just like his full resume. He wrote all the Borat stuff. He also wrote, if you haven't seen Arthur Christmas, have you seen Arthur Christmas?
I remember vaguely, yeah.
Stunningly good. Way, 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 way better than you think it's going to be. Throw in Arthur Christmas if you haven't seen it. And then, what's another good one? I mean, Star Wars.
Star Wars Christmas specials, legendary. Yeah.
Legendary. Do you guys remember the thing where Chewbacca's dad watches VR porno?
In
porn. He watches like a VR erotic
erotic Wookiees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you watch it. No, it's like a song it's like not Diane Carroll, but it's super sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically wearing VR goggles and getting a boner in the middle of their tree.
I think they're making like another Star Wars Christmas special, not related to that. I think sometime soon, right? But didn't they announce something like that? I know they're doing the Guardians one, but
there's talk of a resurrection. I mean, the Star Wars Christmas special is
for sure. And then the other weird thing is like the weird variety acts. Like they open really weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like tumbling. There's so many times where they stop to watch like tumbling for a long
pastime
time.
Tumbling.
And then, but she sings that song like, "Good night, my friends. Everyone here in Mos Eisley, raise a glass." It's like this weird sort of like song you'd sing in like cabaret.
Yeah.
But Art Carney's actually amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Art Carney's saving every scene of that thing. It was like, he comes in and he's like, "Look, they gave me a shitty premise. I'm going to fucking nail it anyway. I'm Art fucking Carney. Look at here. I got a teddy bear I'm working with, and this guy's in a weird thing, and I'm going to fucking make it work." Where's Chewie? Just like his acting is his superpower in that.
I'm actually surprised you never or haven't yet been in an episode of Mandalorian because I feel like they do cast a lot of comedians from around your space.
Right?
Yeah.
I do seem like a guy.
Like Posehn was in an episode, like the first episode.
First.
Yeah, the very first. Was it
Sedaris is in all of them?
Was it Moynihan that played the fish guy in the first one, or was it?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And
no, it's not.
Horatio.
Yeah. Yep. And there's like Sudeikis played a stormtrooper. Like, there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, he played like the guy that punches. It was Sudeikis and Brian. Fuck, what was the other one's name? It's another funny comedic actor too. I forget his name. Polly.
No, I'm also good. I'd be a very good like weird like little Empire guy.
Yeah. I think you'd be a really good like Imperial officer.
Bring the droid to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Bring me the droid.
You could be like a Nazi sadistic type Imperial guard.
Look at this face. Look at this
beautiful.
face.
It would work. It'd be magical. So a movie we just watched that you were in was the Weird Al movie, which we
fun.
loved.
Weird.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, it was so
story.
fun.
Super fun. Little detail about that. Super fun doing that scene with Toby Huss, who if you should see
Beats
it by
the
now.
shit out of you.
He beats me up so bad. It was a really long day. And Toby, God bless him, we're good friends. He definitely connected with my face a bunch of times. Like,
You could tell they were method acting. Yeah.
well, they're obviously almost always fake punches, but it just gets exciting.
Yeah.
And you're going fast. So I would say he really connected hard at least 3 or 4
Hit some
times.
solid fists
for sure.
too. Yeah.
But I can take it.
Yeah.
I can take it.
I mean, you're like basically like Tom Cruise or
Yeah, exactly.
like Jackie Chan or something. Like you're doing all your own stunts. You're like making it look
that
real.
That chair hits me in
Yep.
the movie. When the chair goes, that's on me. That was the one thing I was really nervous about.
The chair specifically.
Because like you can't really try it until you're trying it.
Yeah, it's like a balsa wood chair,
Yeah,
like a
and-
prop chair.
Yeah, but it's never as light as you think it's
Yeah.
going to be. And then like Toby's aiming at my spinal cord,
Yeah,
which is where my makes my legs work and stuff.
Yep, that's important.
Yeah. So that was the only one. And I had a pad on, but it's like, it's a good trust exercise.
a pat on your back. You're saying.
A little like a hidden pad, but it's
Okay,
still
didn't
like
know
a
if it was
little
somewhere
trust
else.
exercise to have someone break wood over your spinal cord.
Yeah, that's tough one.
Even as a movie goof.
Did you do a lot of character research on
None.
accordion salesmen?
Literally none.
Wow, bad professional right here. Won't do his
That was
research.
weird. That's one of those movies where you know you're going to be in it for like a long time, which was
Yeah.
exciting. It was like, because I've been reading the script. They've been working on the script for years.
Long time,
which is
yeah.
really cool. Yeah. There's great cameos in that.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, the pool scene is
It's insane.
Wolfman Jack.
I actually think Jack Black's Wolfman Jack is almost a whole other movie.
Yes.
Like
That
it
whole
could
scene
be.
is-
Because I kind of forgot about Wolfman Jack with the whole thing that he was. But that's, yeah.
I had no idea who. I was like, wait, is that Yorma Tacoma
That was
as
amazing.
Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah.
It was unreal. So funny.
Yeah.
And Gallagher too. Actually, they had.
That was Paul F. Tompkins.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. That was wild. But yeah, that was really fun. I know, Jeff, you've been dying for this B movie question.
We got one more thing, and then we have a little game we're going to
I
play
can't
with
wait.
you. But I got to confirm this because
Mhm.
I feel like we never know with casting sometimes. Is it true you're in Jerry Seinfeld's second ever movie?
I
coming up?
am. As a matter of fact, I am in Jerry Seinfeld's second ever movie.
Unfrosted.
Unfrosted.
The
The Pop-Tart
Pop-Tart
story. Coming out on Netflix probably sometime next year.
What can you tell us about
I can tell you what's known, which is it's very Zen movie. It is basically the invention. So it's the invention of the Pop-Tart, but treated exactly like it's the movie The Right Stuff.
Mhm.
So it's like a very intense space race competition to invent the Pop-Tart. And I think this is knowledge. There's a team of experts are brought in at one point without giving too much away about them. But one of them is played by me. One of them is played by Bobby Moynihan. One's James Marsden. It's Jack McBrayer. It's just like a sort of a rogues gallery of wonderful weirdos. I won't say who they are specifically because the introduction of each of these weirdos that comes in to help is kind of amazing.
Oh, I love this already. And that's the funniest part about it is because we always joke about how Jerry Seinfeld, despite being one of the richest actors in Hollywood, has only done one movie, and it was B movie. Which
so
he
this
just
is 2. I know.
You get number 2 of Jerry Seinfeld's like IMDb filmography page that doesn't say himself.
You should. On the press tour, you should just say it's B movie too. Just be like, it's B movie too.
Working title, yeah.
Title.
Here comes the game.
Our final thing we're gonna do here with you, which we have a few other things if we breeze through this, which I don't think we will. We're gonna rank something. We're gonna rank comedy, movie, and TV supporting characters.
Are they mine?
Could be favorite, could be
anything you want.
Comedy, movie, supporting characters
from your
comedy, movie, or TV show. So it could be anything.
From any show, any movie.
Okay.
Could be 5 best, could be 5 favorite, could just be 5 random. This is a very hard thing to rank, by the way. I was looking at it all morning.
It was
narrowing it down to 5.
Can I do 5 movie supporting characters?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do.
Oh, good movie end. We should have said movie or.
Start out Ken Jack
movie end if you want.
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Boogie Nights.
Movie or.
Fuck.
One of the
such a good one. I didn't.
We're gonna go one by one. We're gonna go one by one.
I'm gonna go number 1.
Yeah. Is that your first pick?
I think Philip Seymour Hoffman, Boogie Nights, with the weird terry cloth shirt that doesn't quite. He's basically dressed like Swartzen from Reno 911.
Kind of, yeah.
A little bit of terry cloth, a little bit of tummy.
Man, he was a chameleon.
Ken Jack will go next.
He was a literal Yeah.
Okay.
He was a literal chameleon of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Incredible.
He could do he could go do The Master with Joaquin Phoenix.
Be scary.
Yeah. And then be in, what was it? On Came Polly with Stiller, like Ben Stiller, like rubbing his face against his sweaty belly.
Amazing.
Like, it's incredible stuff. For mine, I'll do, and this is like more of like an expanded cameo, but it's a supporting character that every second of screen time is so funny. Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, incredible.
It is one of the funniest things
Amazing.
I think I've ever seen. So ridiculously out of type for him and just unbelievably funny.
I got actively a little bit mad because you're like, hey, Tom Cruise, you don't need to also be funny, guy.
It's not fair.
Oh, wait. So you fly your own jets and you do that other stuff, and now you're going to do sketch stuff too?
Yeah.
Leave something for the rest of us.
Take a hike. Get out of here. Him and Bill Hader, too. Both of them.
I met him twice. He's
very
lovely.
funny.
I also have Tom Cruise as Les Grossman, so I'll just say that's my pick there. I won't expand
so
on it. We'll just say that. It's
right.
just they were supposed to make a movie for that.
Yes.
There was a rumor of that.
Recently, like within the last 6 months, I think they talked about they were going to do a spinoff movie for that.
Really?
You think so? Yeah. We'll see.
I'm going to do Melissa McCarthy, Bridesmaids.
Ooh, yeah.
First, like her first really like appearance that
not Gilmore Girls. Basically, it's like a first like legit.
I've seen her in Gilmore Girls a little bit, but first like, oh shit, you're like bursting like a supernova into the room. That was incredible. And then I'm sorry, you keep on.
She was really good in Can You Ever Forgive Me? Did you watch that?
Amazing.
So good in that movie.
The forgery movie?
Yeah, the forgery one, yeah.
She's also, by the way, in Unfrosted.
Oh, there you go. Fuck, this cast is stacking up. Okay, for my next one, I'll do Jason Isaacs in Death of Stalin. Death of Stalin is one of my the funniest movies maybe ever, and I think every moment of screen time he has also kills his General Zuko.
I've not seen it.
Oh my god, you will die at this movie. It's the guy who wrote all of Veep. The guy. I would say yes. The Death of Stalin.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit aware of it. It's by that what's his face? Yeah, the British dude.
Who did all Veep. It is such a funny movie. And he kills it in that. They're all speaking British. Every single character in that is like they're British actors, and then there's Steve Buscemi, who's just speaking in his regular accent, literally like that. And he's playing Nikita Khrushchev. It's like so
I love that.
funny. Oh my god, it's great. And Michael Palin playing Molotov, like all these great actors in it. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jason Isaacs. Yes, that's a must see.
I'll tell you one, and I gotta remember. I actually don't remember his name, but I can tell you who he is, and I think his name is Adam something. So, did you guys watch The Great?
The Great, yeah.
Okay, so in the first season, Adam something. I got in an elevator in New York last year, and the dude who plays the patriarch of the church.
Oh, that's
Adam, British, crazy long beard.
It's not it's not the Rasputin type dude, right?
Yes,
it is.
Yes,
is Adam Polly? No,
you're so close. Someone who's listening is going to be mad because they know
Adam Godley.
Godley,
yeah.
But like this only happened twice in my life where an elevator door opened and I saw a person's face and I went, and once was Adam Godley last year and once was in Vancouver and it was Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, really?
The elevator door opened and
that's an iconic face right there.
I was not expecting to see little Alex on the other side of that elevator door. It was just like, yeah.
Amazing. Wow. You're up, right?
My next one, I'm going to go small role, Joe Latruglio in Superbad.
Oh, that's fascinating.
He's great job in Reno as well.
Joe's one of my best friends. Obviously, we've been together for a long time. We met in the fall of 1988. So 3 years ago, I'm at my cousin's wedding in Ireland, and a dude who was at the wedding who's from Nottingham, England. Anybody ever heard somebody with a Nottingham accent?
Oh, no, I don't think I've heard a Nottingham accent.
Like, you're really crazy. Like, you got from a Guy Ritchie movie. It's like,
I love that. That was amazing.
Like full-blown Guy Ritchie movie. Like, and he comes up to me and he's like, I thought you were wearing trainers in the church, huh? Trainers in the church, mate.
Like, what are you saying?
And I'm like, what happened? He's like, you're wearing trainers at church. Because I had gym shoes on. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, I'm at my cousin's wedding. He's like, fuck you. It's not your fucking cousin. Why are you fucking go to your wedding? And he's fucking... Okay, so this guy's pounding rum and cokes. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And he's trying to place where he knows me from, and he's really mad about it.
Just furious. I love this.
So angry about it. And I'm like, this happens sometimes. And I'm like, I don't know. I've been in some stuff. And he's like, hey, fuck you. And he's so mad. And then eventually he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm at my cousin's wedding. He's like, you're not Irish. And I'm like, I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's easily Googleable. In fact, I'm an Irish citizen. And he's like, you're not fucking Irish with a name like that. And he holds up the picture of me that he's been looking at all evening. And it's Joe Latruglio. And he was livid that I was not Joe. I was about to get my ass kicked for not.
Because you weren't
And
Joe.
then he was like, why are you pretending to be someone you know, you fucking cunt? And I'm like, what? And he's like, you fucking liar. And I'm like, I am just standing here, guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Not being Joe Latruglio.
How can you not realize this is not you?
I was so angry.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Yeah.
Weird, bizarro confusion.
That's a good one.
Yeah, his just like Jimmy,
Yeah.
like his brother, like just like his physical comedy, like it's unreal in that movie. He
a great
doesn't
picture.
miss because he has few lines, but he never misses a line in that movie.
What else are we at?
I think you're up
all
here.
right.
I'm going to do
next.
Me in 17 again.
Beautiful.
Is that
Love
tacky?
That. No,
that's tacky as shit. It's also a solid plug.
It's a great plug. It's on
Me,
Netflix now.
17 again on Netflix. Weirdly, it stays in the top 10 on Netflix.
Like for a
Every
long
time
time,
it comes back on, it gets that Efron bump.
Yep.
Getting the Efron bump.
He's playing a wrestler soon in a movie. The A24
He looks
movie. Right?
amazing. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
He's like
huge.
super buff, and he's got he's got like a He-Man haircut.
Yeah.
It looks
that big
amazing.
shaggy dude on the top.
It's pretty genius. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, for
I let him
mine.
borrow the Lieutenant Dangle Halloween costume one year.
For mine, I will do, let's say, Joe Latruglio and Role Models. I'll do him as well. I think his performance.
We got Joe coming up 2 times.
2 times. Him in Role Models when he plays the LARP or the live action role player.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Role Models in a little while.
Mhm.
Although my wife is in Role Models.
Oh yeah,
My wife's in the elevator when they're having like the horrible screaming fight.
the screaming match. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're fighting each other. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I get a special thanks at the end of Role Models.
beautiful. What'd you
Maybe
contribute?
I read the script and I gave some thoughts or did a table read or something.
Gotcha.
Like that.
He there's a couple of lines that Latruglio has in it that are very funny when you watch the outtakes. Just seeing Paul Rudd break 500 times against him is just a joy. Like the rub-a-dub-dub line that he says to Paul Rudd, and it made him. He could not get through it. It was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that performance was so funny.
My next, I'll go Adam Scott and
Okay, well
Step Brothers.
now that stings because you know that I was up for that role.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Okay. So this is public knowledge, but so it went to the callback for Brother in Step Brothers.
Yeah.
And there was only 3 people there, and it was John Hamm, me, Adam Scott, and I just walked in. It was a little tiny room at like Paramount, and I walked in and looked at the 2 of them, and I was like, "Fuck this." I was like, "Oh my God, either one of these dudes would be amazing."
People didn't realize John Hamm had really good comedic chops
sure, yeah,
for
yeah.
a long time. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Adam has a thing. Like, he has some lines in that movie that I wouldn't have liked when he's like, "Babe, Dane Cook, pay-per-view now." I was like, "Yeah, you know what? That's more his myth."
Oh man,
Yeah.
We talked to him right when Severance was coming out. A little bit about it, and I think the line where he rattles,
Yes.
he went fishing with when he's just like,
yeah, Chris Daughtry. It's like a time capsule.
Jeff Pro,
Chef Bobby Flay. I forgot.
Bobby Flay, and there's some weird sports guy. Oh yeah, but Chef Bobby Flay. Jeff
Pro, Martin Cubes.
That would be a great T-shirt. Just the list of who the brother went sport fishing
just
with.
got back sport fishing with these people. All right, you're back up, right?
I'm back up. We got to do a weirder cut here.
Yep.
What are we doing? Should we do a TV thing?
You could definitely get a new TV, yeah?
Let's do a TV thing. We're doing just supporting.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to do a scary one. And again, I have no idea what this dude's name is. I have no idea what this
We'll
guy's
Google
name
for you.
is. Did you guys watch The Terror
The Terror?
on AMC?
I don't think
It is
so.
the single best television show I've ever seen.
Oh, Kieran Hines, a Meridian.
Kieran Hines is amazing.
Tobias Menzies,
Jared
too?
Harris is in it.
Oh, that's great.
The dude who plays Mr. Hickey, and I do not know what his name is.
Adam Nagantis.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Of course. What I was on the tip of my tongue was Adam Nagantis.
Oh, wait,
That-
I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm going to stick with Adam Nagantis.
Okay.
I like it.
I can't even see it, but
Negatus, I think. That's what we're looking for.
that performance is one of the most amazing things I've seen on TV in a long time. No one in this room has seen The Terror season 1 from AMC.
I have not.
I've watched it twice.
No.
I'm looking at the picture of it.
I would watch it a third time if we wanted to sit here right now and get some cocaine.
We'll swap. We'll watch this. You got to watch Death of Stalin. That's our trade.
But The Terror is, by the way, it's a whole thing. It's like 8 or 10 episodes.
I love this. It looks. I'm a big fan of Master and Commander, so this looks like horror Master and Commander.
It's going to blow your mind.
Oh, love this.
Yeah.
All right. I'm up. Right. I will go.
Seems like I don't know the names of most of the people I like in pictures.
I mean, that guy. I've only seen him before from Chernobyl.
That's real character actors.
Yes.
It's like you don't know their name. Like,
exactly.
Look at me. Am I Joe Latruglio?
I feel like you guys are on this like a name recognition.
If I'm far away.
I was actually just watching role models the other.
I heard when you walked in, someone's like, "Oh, yeah, Ted Lasso's here today."
Oh man, the mustache too. Man, I didn't even think about that.
I was thinking Reese Darby.
Reese Darby. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I can see that. You guys have very similar shade of hair.
I don't get Reese Darby. I do frequently. People will take pictures and be like, and you know what? I just don't say anything.
Don't say a word.
I'm like, you know what?
Let them figure it out on their own.
It was a good day for them.
You can't. Yeah.
They feel like they met Sudeikis. When they check the photos later, maybe they'll notice. They didn't. But leave it for now.
Speaking of Sudeikis, I was watching Horrible Bosses the other day, and Jamie Foxx in Horrible Bosses would have to be my next pick as Motherfucker Jones. Mm-hmm. Every line in that movie he has is so good. The story of how he got Motherfucker Jones, the part where they ask him like, "Oh, you know that's the same name as this guy from the band," and he's like, "No, it is, bitch," and like a whole bunch of other lines in that movie. So good. He ate up every minute of screen time. So I got to go with old Jamie Foxx for mine. Also, just one of the most multi-talented human beings alive, wherever that's worth too.
Okay, what's mine? You got one?
I'm going to go my next one. I'm going to go Rodney Dangerfield. I'm going to go Al Cervic in Caddyshack. That is...
Caddyshack, yeah.
1A, 1B, super bad.
Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen it. Mm-hmm. But that was one of those pictures that we would watch the VHS like daily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch Caddyshack 2 if you can avoid it.
I have actually never seen Caddyshack.
You're in good... Yeah, it's better off. You're better off not watching it.
Do we have any of the major players in Caddyshack 2?
It's like not any of the mains, no, not that I remember. I watched it like 20 minutes of the first one or second one, and I was just like, no.
So they've got the gopher.
Yeah, the gopher prop is back,
and
I think it's just Chevy's. I think only Chevy Chase.
Oh wow!
You know what's even worse?
I haven't seen.
What's even worse than that was Blues Brothers 2000, which I know you hate.
I'm aware of Blues Brothers 2000. Did you actually watch it?
Another one where I think I made it 30 minutes in, and I was like, "What is this?"
There's John Goodman joins, right? Mm-hmm. And then is there a kid Blues Brother in this?
There's definitely a younger Blues Brother. I don't know who the actor is.
Right. That's like the Barton Fink thing of like, is it a dame or is it a kid?
Yeah.
Why not both? And they just look at him like he's crazy. Oh, there we go. Tony Shalhoub, Barton Fink. All time. That's not only my last one, it's my every one.
Every single one?
Every single word out of Tony Shalhoub's mouth in Barton Fink. Throw it hard.
He's
what do you want?
so
it's a
funny,
Wallace Berry wrestling picture. What do you want? A road map? Oh
that's another show where I always feel like people forget how good it was as Monk. Like Monk, he was so funny in, and beyond being funny, obviously a good role just in general. Dude, you're a Monk guy.
No, but I was gonna say he's great in Maisel.
Marvelous Miss Maisel,
so good.
Yeah, he's really good.
One time, Tony Shalhoub's house was for sale down the street from my house, which I just bought a house in LA in a nice place. And then I was like, oh, there's an open house down the street of a nicer house. And of course, it's Tony Shalhoub's house. And so we take a tour of it. It was very big and very nice. And I remember I just stepped into one closet where it was only acting awards.
Really?
Just like floor to ceiling. He had every award and he had 3 or 4 of every kind.
Jesus.
It was like the end of the Bluebeard, the Kurt Vonnegut story, or where you find all the brides' heads.
Just all in the one room,
into one room, and it was every acting award that had ever existed. It was almost like some sort of ironic hell that I was being sent to.
Oh, I love that.
It was just awards for character acting.
That's just always, man.
Just be always slightly out of your reach.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shalhoub invests. I know we got to do our number ones. Shalhoub invests in one of. I'm just pitching Tony Shalhoub's investments now. And an Italian restaurant in the city called Resdora. It's unbelievable. But he's like the key investor in the restaurant, yeah. So he's got everything.
He's got to put those all in the restaurant.
One time I had dinner
I
went to dinner at Robert De Niro's restaurant in LA, Ago. It was like our anniversary. and I forgot my wallet. I had no wallet. I had no money. I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like a $500 dinner. And I said to the waiter, I'm horrified. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry. I don't have anything. And he was like, get us next time. I swear to God.
That's cold.
At De Niro's restaurant. No, he's like, get us next time. Don't
No, I mean like in a good way. That's
No,
that's
crazy.
like cool. Like,
it was so cool.
yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then I never went back. I never went back. I gave them one star on Yelp.
Yep.
I'm like, these suckers. I'm like, you could just do this. Walk in. You say you don't have anything. I gave them 1 star. I'm like, sucks.
Yeah. Just say you're Joe Latriglio when you leave.
Every time.
Make sure you.
How do you like me in a role model? And now Joe doesn't actually have an Italian accent, but
yeah, it sounds. You see, hear the name, and you're like, he should.
He should.
Yeah.
He should.
All right.
Should.
My number one is going to be Marty Feldman in Young Frankenstein.
Off the charts. I almost did a. Incredible.
He's just insane. He's so funny in that movie. Every line kills. It's just a perfect compliment to Gene Wilder, who was insanely good as well.
It's to me, it's the best Mel Brooks movie by far.
Yeah.
People get very mad at me when I say that. I'm like, I don't know why people don't think Young Frankenstein is like. I think it's the absolute pinnacle.
Yeah.
Everyone is just clicking so perfectly.
I think it's partially because he co-wrote the script, Wilder, on Young Frankenstein. So like I think because like they kind of had more of a mesh on it. I think it worked out that way.
And maybe is there something to like the super elegant black and white that really makes it feel just like a work of art?
Of course, Leachman in that. I think she won something for that, or I believe, if I remember right. So good. The whole movie just crushes me every time I watch it. But Marty Feldman specifically, so good. Jeff, your last one, right?
I'll rip mine quick because then we got to let you go. But I'm going to go David Cross's Tobias Fuller in Arrested Development. It's just my favorite.
Also a shorts wearing character.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. He never takes them off.
He does those weird. He does like denim cutoffs.
Yes, he does do denim cutoff.
Yeah.
He's the never nude.
Yep. He just.
There are dozens of us.
It's just I rewatched Arrested recently.
David, our first
next level. He's also in a very small, super small movie called "It's a Disaster." It's a very dark comedy about like a dirty bomb going off in like the downtown of where like they live, but they're at a dinner party the whole time. He's in it. Julia Stiles is in it as well. Pretty funny movie. It's a very small movie. America Ferrera's in it. Just rewatched that recently. It's short, dark comedy.
Our first,
I'd slap
our first night in LA, like ever. Me and Mike Jan and Ben Grant from the state. We were at the Three of Clubs in LA. We'd never been to Los Angeles. Like, didn't know what was going on. We were just there to pitch some movies. And I'll never forget David Cross sent us shots at the bar. It was so nice. We're like, oh man, it's David Cross from the show. That was so cool. Yeah. He sent us shots. And we drank the shots. And I guess I don't drink shots very much. But then we had a pitch the next morning at Disney. And it was the single worst pitch. That shot just put just enough to absolutely destroy me. And I smelled weird. And I felt awful.
He tanked you. It was intentional. David Cross intentionally
tanked a very not good idea for a state movie that we were pitching to Disney. Yeah. We were pitching to Hollywood Pictures.
It was on purpose. It had to be. It's funny too because Mr. Show
totally had the spins.
Yeah. Because your guys' shows kind of ran in like the same circles. I feel like in some ways. So like that is interesting. I feel like you guys have like a parallel in that way.
They did some amazing sketches.
Yeah,
one of the great sketches.
That's one where I look for both of your sketches on both show sketches on YouTube all the time. I can hardly find them, which is so frustrating. But I think
all of the state is on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. So there it is. Now I'm going to go watch it on Paramount Plus.
And some of Viva is on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly not because I found out a very weird detail this year, which is that we own Viva Variety.
So you have it so you can...
By accident. I never asked to own it, but apparently accidentally in our contracts,
it's defaulted to
Terry you. And Ben and Mike Black own Viva Variety.
Holy shit. So you can go put it anywhere you want.
But I don't have I can go hand out like CDs on the subway. Hey, check out my comedy show. Hey, you guys like comedy? Did you guys meet the naked
Give it to the crazy guy you see on the subway.
Please don't walk away. Please don't walk away. Please do not walk away. This is a DVD of a show I did in the 90s.
Yep. Go look for anybody who's acting crazy on the subway like you did before, and then just hand them the CD. Yeah, it'll calm you down, man.
Do you like bands from the 90s?
How do you feel about Wheatus? You a big fan?
You a fan of the Squirrel Nut Zippers?
Actually, wait, Wheatus.
We didn't have time to Wet Sprocket.
Wheatus, we posted a trailer recently, and Wheatus replied, like Wheatus's Twitter, like banned Twitter account replied to the trailer for the movie we posted on our Twitter, and I was like, that is so bizarre. Like, I think the social media guy for Wheatus forgot to log out because they're like, "Oh, excited." I'm like, "For what?" Like The Whale with Brendan Fraser. I go, "Yeah, me too," but it was very odd. Like, Whedon.
All of Whedon is just into it. We gotta get Slipknot next. That's gonna be our next skit.
Very strange. We have to let you go, but Reno 911, the Christmas special, December. Which also, thank you for releasing a Christmas special in fucking December, and not like a month and a half early. Like it's the perfect timing. It's very Christmassy. It's
perfect timing. December 3rd, Comedy Central. It'll probably rerun a bunch. So check your local listings, as they say.
Oh yeah.
But we also couldn't have put it out any earlier because we finished it yesterday. So. So the timing, we really carefully sat on it for a long time till it was just ready for Christmas by carefully finishing it on November 15th.
Yeah, our screener had so much incomplete CGI. It was crazy.
For sure. None of the dragons look right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're looking at these tennis balls everywhere.
A lot of tennis balls.
They're everywhere.
And it's weird for the sex scenes. That's where it gets really weird. Where it looks like I'm kind of humping a tennis ball for a long time.
Yeah, way too long.
Way too long.
They didn't edit it out or anything. It was crazy.
Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to you again. We'll talk to you again when you're in Mandalorian.
Yeah, let's just wait. Who do we talk to? Favreau?
We have a Filoni plug, I'm sure, somehow.
Actually, drag Seinfeld in here.
Sure.
Just you and Seinfeld come on in.
Stranger things have happened.
We'll lure him in there. We'll tell him we have like a nice car or something that he can come check out.
He does have a lot of nice cars.
Yeah, we'll be like, oh, we got like a roadster.
Totally true.
Roadster's at the Barstool office. Come check it out.
Yeah. Oh, sure. He has one car that he has an old Porsche.
Yeah.
That has like a permanent police light on it because it's like a French police car.
Oh,
I know.
So cool.
So he's got some cool cars.
God damn it.
Yeah. Try harder.
But yeah, thank you so much. That was so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
Thomas Lennon. Thank you very much. We'll definitely have him back soon. He was a great. That's our second time with him.
I always liked him, man. He's a funny guy. Yeah,
very funny. We didn't even talk about his "I Love You, Man" role either.
So good.
You're a whore, Peter.
Yeah. You know what's really good in too? Balls of Fury. That movie, I think, gets shit on too unfairly. I thought the movie was damn funny.
I think that movie's fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, he does a great job of being good in movies that probably shouldn't be as good as they are. I thought he was funny as shit in 17 Again, which is the most cliche.
He was very adamant about that role being a good role. By the way,
he was awesome. Movie, that. Yeah.
Next up, it's finally time to talk about the movie.
All right, let's talk about the menu.
Before we get into it, though, this review presented by Dave.com. Get up to $500 right now. Dave is the banking app that can get you up to that $500 instantly with extra cash. With Dave, there's no interest. Always, it's a weird ad read to read when your boss name is Dave. By the way, with Dave, it's no relation to our boss, Dave Porter.
I assume that's why.
With Dave, there's no interest, late fees, credit hacks. That's more money to buy those last-minute gifts, catching up on bills. Great time of the year for that. Without having to wait for your next paycheck, you finally tackle the expenses that have been stressing you out without any hang-ups. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to get the financial relief they need with extra cash. So if you're in a pinch, need some extra help, download Dave and think of it as a little helping hand from the future you. Also, no relation to Lil Dicky either.
The program phone FX.
Excited for that to eventually come back.
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to stop calling TV shows. I'm going to start calling them programs again. TV programs.
Programs?
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling season series.
Yeah. My mom did that last night. I was shocked.
I
don't know where she picked it up, but she just started. She's been watching Dead to Me, and she's like, "There's only 2 series." And I was like, "There's only 2 what?"
She's watching too much Sherlock.
Secretly British. Mr. Gooch. Yeah.
Goochman is a classic English name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the banking app that can help you get $500 instantly right now with extra cash. Make sure you download Dave. Dave.com. There's Dave Portnoy, there's Dave Lil Dicky, and then there's Dave.com.
Only 3 days.
Go to Dave.com. That's a good name. They need a Super Bowl ad. Dave.com would make some waves with a Super Bowl ad. Not to spend their ad budget for them. Terrifier 2.
I'm going to make a competing company called Goliath or something.
They give you no money, though.
Yeah, exactly.
They create a shadow company just to make them seem better. They're like, Goliath stinks. You can only get $10.
But that's the whole idea. Dave beats Goliath. So
yeah. Terrifier 2. It is a sequel to Terrifier. Also, the third movie with Art the Clown in it. He was in a movie called All Hallows Eve, but he became popular through Terrifier. Gooch just got very excited to hear that there's a third movie with Art.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Not just two. This movie was made for $250,000 from Bloody Disgusting, which is a multimedia company. You may or may not have been on the website before. Do a lot of horror stuff, scoops and all that. Made $11.1 million. That's, you know what? I'm going to say off the top, that's a clap.
Yep.
That's cool. I don't care what you think about this movie, whatever. If you're a small movie and you make money, we talked about the beginning of the show. We talked about Tarantino. We talked about, movie theaters and how much space there are for movies. This is cool. This is good. This is good.
It also made more each weekend. Like, it made some the first weekend, then made more the second weekend, and made even more the third weekend. So it got really cool, like word of mouth style movie.
It's almost like a Paranormal Activity-esque type of traction where it seems like people just picked up on it. Yeah,
word of mouth on TikTok.
Now, there's a lot of absurd shit in this movie. This is, it's not like it's a really bad example, but I just don't think I can pull anything else out of my head right now. But it's not like The Fabelmans is going to go viral. By the way, Fabelmans is amazing.
I can't wait to see it.
So good. Yeah, it's so good. It is. The Fabelmans not going to go viral on TikTok because they don't have scenes like this. Like, this is cool. I'm glad they did it. I hope other movies try and do this in terms of try and get some sort of viral trend going where they can really make some money. But there is a reason why this went viral. It is ridiculous in so many ways. Resurrected by a sinister entity, Art the Clown returns to Miles County to terrorize a teenage girl and her younger brother on Halloween night. This has very high marks from critics and audiences, Rotten Tomatoes. 85% approval from critics, 80% approval from audiences. If you like gore and slasher stuff, this is the golden corral of horror and gore. This is the chocolate fountain. This is everything. This has got it all. If you like gore, this is your Super Bowl. This is your World Cup. It's not my thing. This is not.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Okay.
We call it
Did you think we were all gonna Yeah. Would you think, Chris, that we were all gonna suck this movie's dick or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Here's the biggest problem.
What a relief.
I don't like complaining about runtime because I like long movies. I really like a long movie, something that really breathe. That's my everyone knows. So my top movies when we started this podcast are all longer movies. This is way too fucking long.
Yeah,
this is
I love you, Jeff. I love you so much right now. I get
this is insane. First one's 82 minutes long. 82 minutes long. This one's 138 minutes long. Even so one of the better reviewers, and I know you watch him too, Chris. I know you guys, Chris Stuckman.
Love him.
He doesn't make a ton of movies anymore because he's kind of not doing it because he's making his own. He's I don't want to he basically said he doesn't want to go in. He's making his own movie. He doesn't want to go in there and just rip movies. So he's only doing ones that he really wants to talk about. And he even said, he's look, I like Terrifier 2. This is way too long. This is for what this is, 90 minute was the sweet spot and they blew past it. It's just very gory. This is not, it is disgusting. It's disgusting. It's gross. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. I'm not a gore guy. I also will say that I think the scene we'll talk about probably most of the bedroom scene. That's the viral scene that really got the movie all the hype. It also kind of goes so much that it just doesn't really have the effect on me anymore. It goes so far to absurd that I'm well, this is just fucking stupid now. But some people like that. I don't think this is anywhere near this is actually, I'm probably much lower on it than most people will be. I gave it a 49. It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
Wow.
It's just not my thing. I didn't like it. I will champion this movie though. I think it's awesome that it made a lot of money. I get why people like it, but it was just too much. Too much.
Mm-hmm.
Too much. Ken Jack. Gooch, you'll be going last.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I landed on a 42 for this. A lot of the same complaints that you had, where it's way too fucking long. And I'll start with the good parts first. I think the practical effects in this movie are undeniably great. They are, when you see enough slashers and enough fucking terrible, terrible horror movies, which 95% of them are, you get sick of really crappy blood effects, really shitty CGI usage or whatever. This is all a ton of practical, really, really gross stuff that makes you feel that visceral, gross feeling. And that is obviously the goal for this movie, and it achieves that, without a doubt. That combined with what you were saying about how this movie made for like zero money, but managing to like get a legit box office return and following, like that is super impressive. I also will note that horror is pretty much the only genre that can ever achieve that. Like, because it's like watching a train wreck or whatever. Like an action movie that's made for $250,000, never going to achieve that same level of success, no matter how much. It will never go viral like that. But horror is the kind of a different animal with there. On the bad side, again, so fucking long, like way too long. Could have been like, I would agree that 90 minutes is definitely where this should have been capped off. And also, there's no good actors in this movie. The actress who played the mom might be the worst fucking actress to ever be on screen, ever. And like, I hate ripping actors and actresses and shit like that. She was so fucking awful. She took me out of the movie really badly. And like, and the fact is, like, I feel like if you're making a movie, like, you got to pick up on shit like that. And for some reason, I figured like she wouldn't be a big part of the movie. She was like an integral and very important part that just kept getting lines, even though she was so awful. I think other than that, like, again, the goal of this movie is to fucking like disgust you and make you sick to your stomach. And like, it does that. That without a doubt, it does that with all of the scenes and like all of the, again, the really good use of practical gore effects that look real. But other than outside of that, man, like, it's too long. It's not for me. It felt gratuitous is the wrong word, because again, it's the goal of the movie is to have gratuitous gore, but it didn't feel like there was like a legitimate, like a purpose to it. You know what I mean? And like that kind of frustrates me. So yeah, landing on like a 42, 40 of those points coming on the back of special effects.
Well, let me ask you this. I'll ask this with everyone. Bedroom scene. Gross, stupid, dumb. Like, where did you...
All three?
Like, okay.
Thank you, Ken Jack.
Yeah.
By the way, that was like a big technical achievement to get that done on that much money. Which I won't. I'm not like making fun of them on that. Like, it. Apparently, it was like that was a puppet. Like, that girl was just a puppet. It had to be because they mutilated her body. Ugh. Chris.
Disgusting.
Did I ever tell you guys that Chris Stuckman hates me?
Does he really?
When I was in 8th grade, I did I was on a YouTube channel called Prime for Prezzo 8, where I did a collaboration called The Real Reviews. It was me, him, Tom Chattelbash, Grounded for Life 27, who's still one of my best friends, Blake Kennedy, who should probably have this job, not me. We did. I love Chris Stuckman. I think he's one of the most talented people around. I think that the influence he's had on movies and movie criticism is amazing, and I root for him. I don't think he was crazy about. I was also 15. Okay, I'm joking, but like, I don't think he was a fan of.
I love you should have just like a brutal rivalry. Like we just rip his movie when it comes out. Like, it's objectively good, but we're like 0 out of 100.
Stinks.
It'll be like
Fuckman.
It'll be like Portnoy with LeBron's pizza. No, I love
Blaze does stink. As a LeBron guy, Blaze does stink.
No good.
Does it really? No, I'm being kind of facetious, but I don't even think he remembers who I am. We're talking literally like summer 2010. So I'm like, I was 15. Okay, thank you guys. Okay.
Did you know how gross this was going into it? Did you know? Like,
I knew it'd be super gory. But that's not the problem to me. I'm fine with gory shit. Like I'm not a prude. Here's the problem with this movie. One, porn movies have better acting. Like it can't be overstated how bad the acting is in this movie.
Like the kid. I know Gooch has a big problem with the kid, so I don't want to say any more on him.
Yeah, well, he'd been played by Emily Willis. I mean, yeah, it's been all in.
But it's not even the kid, because kids are kids. It's everybody else is so fucking bad. This is and you know what? Okay, I wrote a blog about this when I talked about Black Panther. I want to reiterate something or just drive home a point. I don't have issues with long movies. I think a lot of people think that if a movie's over 2 hours, that somehow I'm automatically going to hate it. That's not true. My favorite movie of all time is The Dark Knight. It's 2.5 hours. I love Zodiac. That's almost 3 hours. I love, a lot of movies that are, have elongated run times. There is no fucking way that Terrifier 2 should be 2 hours and 18 minutes. Are you fucked? You gotta be kidding me. Like, there's that is insanity to me. that somebody thought it was a good idea to make this movie 2 hours and 10 minutes. I want to give a lot.
You could also argue, by the way, I want to add, you could also argue to Kenjack's point with the acting too. Like, don't you feel like if you could have cut it down to like 90 minutes, you could have spent more on like in other areas too? Like I could be, I could be wrong on like I very well could be wrong. I don't know their books. Like I don't know like how that all broke down, but like that was my thing. I'm like, couldn't they focus more? And like they could have made this actually pretty awesome.
I want to give and truly like okay, I'm going nuts, but I want to be very succinct with this. I want to give a lot of credit to the makeup and the VFX artists who made this movie. And, you can complain about the gore, but the fact is the gore looks amazing. People worked their fingers to the freaking bone for this film. It is just such a tragedy that it was for a movie that is stupid as shit. And I just don't. If you're making a movie like this, it has to be short, to the point, quick, honest, legitimate. But watching like this isn't fucking Ben-Hur. Okay, you're making a movie this is a horror movie that should be 80 to 90 minutes long. And they really messed up with that. I think honest effort was put into it, but yeah, man, in terms of a rating, look, it's not my kind of movie, but at the same time, we've reviewed a lot of horror over the last few months,
Been a great
something
year.
like
Great year.
right, and something I always go back to it. Something like Barbarian had a really good direction, a good story. It moved
right.
It moved at a good pace. This is just. I don't know if this is a term. It's gore porn. That's all it is. It's every single scene is just a pathway to get to the next murder. And quite frankly, and people are going to call me a pussy, and if the shoe fits, whatever. But I'm sorry, I do find it kind of disturbing, to be honest. Where it's just a pathway to see other people get murdered, and
it's super. It's very disturbing. The bedroom scene is a lot.
It's why, quite frankly, I never watched a lot of those Saw movies because that's what they are. It's just it's a lead in to the next person getting murdered. Not my thing, and I acknowledge that's a personal taste thing. That falls on me. But as a whole, like I came into Barbarian thinking I was going to hate it, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year. I really do like Barbarian and the way it was directed, and the same way that Jordan Peele makes horror movies that a lot of people really enjoy, and I do as well. This one, I'm very relieved that you guys were not.
I think on the whole, we've all been pretty fair with horror this year. We've been pretty good with it.
I'm not saying you haven't been fair, but like this,
I'm including you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I was scared because this movie has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
so I thought you guys were going to come in here and be like, I love this, and this is just amazing. And I know I'm rambling, but the truth is,
I got to read one of the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, Chris. I got to
go right ahead, dude. Yeah, it's your thing, man.
There's one that like, and you know what? Like I'm not clowning it. Like if this is like what they intended,
good fun.
But this blurb made me laugh. It says, like the best horrors, it's about stuff, gentrification, abuse, toxic masculinity, taking responsibility. There's also plenty of jump scares. Like
what?
Barbarian had a lot to say, and I'm not discrediting this movie if that's what they were trying to say. I'm just saying I kind of chuckled.
That's the thing is Barbarian to me, to its credit, there was a message there, and I brought up the Detroit connection. Here, to me, it's just gore porn. That's all it is, and it's a showcase for people who worked really hard on gore and special effects, and I give them a lot of credit, but. The movie sucks, dude. I feel relieved that you guys, were it kind of feel a similar way. What did you give it, Ken Jack? I'm sorry, say your rating.
42.
That's probably about what I'd give it. Quite frankly, I appreciate the effort that was put into it from a visual standpoint, but the acting and the characters, man, like what. And I'm sorry, Gooch. I know I'm holding you up. Why did this go nuts on TikTok? Was it because of the violence? Like,
scene was that bedroom scene was a big reason why.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why
it's so crazy. I mean, it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it was, but to me, that's also a reflection of what's wrong with cinema. That like something like that goes nuts. You know what I mean? But that's a conversation for another day.
You pulled that salt out.
I don't like the movie.
the salt is
the salt is
the worst. I think the salt was the gross.
All right, here we go.
Listen,
Robbie.
Art the Clown Stand 2022. That's your new fucking username.
I made it 2 hours in, and I was ready to actually defend this movie and come in and actually like flip the switch on you guys and be like, I actually like this a lot. But the fucker didn't kill the kid, didn't kill the little brother, and that little brother surviving is unforgivable.
Yeah.
I legit, he was so bad. I fucking hate that kid so much. Little Ben Shapiro head ass. He deserved to die. He sucked. I hated him. Now, this movie does do, I will give it credit. It's like there's two good movies in here, but when they come together, it just doesn't work. Like it's like he couldn't decide what he wanted to do because there's like this weird like lore, mystical elements, like supernatural, religious almost kind of stuff going on in the background. You're like, what's going on here? And that could be an interesting movie, but it's never really, you never really dive into it truly.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a full-on just gore splatter movie in there, but that gets broken up so much by the like little background elements that they keep splicing in that the movie just runs forever and ever. It's so fucking long. It's so
long. So
watching Mr. Bean run around with a fucking bag of knives. God. I mean, good Lord. Also, I want to give, what is his name? Damien Leone some credit, but he does some cool stuff. Like there's some cool shots.
For sure.
I really like the soundtrack quite a bit. The soundtrack was cool.
Yeah.
I want to listen to that. That soundtrack, all that synth. But then there's just some stuff that's just unforgivable. Like, it just, if you want to make a gore movie, make a fucking gore movie. Don't try to make it this big sweeping epic that doesn't go anywhere. Also, like, weird shots of the girl in the shower. I didn't like that. That was almost grosser than the gore. Like, she's supposed to be high school. That was a little weird. I was like, wait, she's in high school, right? Just like, that was strange. I mean, I think there is something good here, but it's just like, I think I read that he edited this movie too. Like, he needed an editor is what he needed. He needed someone to come in and clean this.
Point. I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
He spent it all on
chop this one up.
He spent it all on that the leg of the door that he put nails and forks through. What a weapon.
Iconic weapon. That's like chainsaw.
When you started it, did you ever think that there'd be some sort of mythical sword at the end?
That was so stupid.
What a crazy.
That whole bit, I would have
liked if they went away from the gore stuff and actually leaned into that a little bit more, because I thought her costume was kind of cool.
That would have been like, imagine if like halfway through the gore just stopped and it was all like mythical swords, and like that'd have been like, what is that reminding me of? It would have been like Too Many Cooks, the Adult Swim bit where it's just like it just goes so out of left field, it just becomes different things. Like, I would have liked if this movie just became something completely different. We need to just blanket note, we are very down on this movie compared to most people. People love this movie.
No, dude, like I said, 85% Rotten Tomatoes. And I thought for sure I was going to have to come on here and be a cunt like I always am. And so
I couldn't believe. I could not. When I saw the runtime of this movie, I was more. Remember how shocked we were, Kendrick, when we saw the runtime for The Irishman live?
Yep. It was like
I was more shocked when I saw how long this movie was. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
There is zero horror movies in the world that earn that runtime. There's not a single franchise, not a single horror movie deserves to be that long. And I don't care who you are, what you got. Not even like Ari Aster, nothing. Like, nobody deserves to have a movie that long. And to your point, Chris, you're saying how like there's good movies that are long. Like, the good long movies don't feel long. You know what I mean? This felt long at the halfway point. Like
that's a great point, because it's not length, it's pacing. That's what matters. Like, you know, a movie like, you know, I always bring up Zodiac is 3 hours long, and that's not a horror movie, though it has some horrific shit in it. But the way Fincher paces it, it doesn't, you know, it goes by at a pretty good clip. There's no reason. It feels so gratuitous and egotistical that somebody's like, I'm going to make Terrifier 2+ hours long. Like
Well, when he pulled out a gun,
you now know though.
I kind of stood up and cheered. I was like, "Fuck yeah! Finally, a horror villain that just uses a gat."
That's true. That's true.
I was like, finally something new. Guy just pulled out a gun.
But here's the thing. This is Terrifier 3 is going to get funded with quite a bit of money. You'd have to imagine.
The little girl's going to be the villain. Like what?
Well, did you see the post-credit scene?
No, I didn't stick. I finished
the mid-credit.
I didn't.
I didn't stick around, but I looked at the Wikipedia.
Wait, the hospital scene's a mid-credit scene, right?
Yes.
I didn't see it. I didn't stick around for the post credits either.
Not a hospital.
Where she has the head, right? Like,
no, where she gives birth to the head.
Yeah, that was just during the movie.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's during the length of the movie. Yeah, that was right at the end. I will say to the point of the whole gore thing, like I think there's movies that manage to use that in like a way that it helps the movie. Like a great example, and like this is basically every S. Craig Zahler movie. Like if you go watch Bone Tomahawk, gratuitous gore in that movie, but also great acting, and also it aids towards the actual horror of the plot. This is just like, hey, let's do the craziest shit we can think. It felt like the Jackass of gore movies to a degree, where it's like, what can we get away with doing? But like I think maybe movies like that kind of spoiled it for me, where I'm like, I know that I can see gore like this and also it be part of something that's actually good. You know what I mean? So also shout out Craig Zahler, make more movies.
They just ran some of those gore scenes just ran so long.
So fucking long.
Like, what do we do? Like, who enjoys, like, let's be honest for a second. Like, it's a little weird if you enjoy watching that, right? Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, that is a weird thing. Like,
that's how I feel. Yeah, I'm with you. You know, a lot of people disagree.
There's some awareness from Leon, by the way. You know that he said, that he's had an entire treatment done for a third film, but it's going to be so big that he could potentially split it into a part 4 because he didn't want to make another 2-hour and 20-minute movie.
Dude, go fuck yourself.
Dude, come on.
See, I have a prediction already. And again, if I were to talk to somebody off this podcast about it, I would suggest it with an asterisk and be like, you have to understand it's a lot. But I'd be like, I will like. At the end of the year, when we do like a recap, like I will mention this. Like this is very cool and good for him. He has big potential to piss people off with the next one. Just do too much, and they're like, you fucked up, you blew it.
I mean, but again, 85% of Rotten Tomatoes. So like in a weird way,
I think that score comes though because like the only people watching the movie are the people who are into this like very specific niche part of horror, and they're like seeking it out. So like. This probably hits for them. Like no one who doesn't like this stuff is going to go out and watch it. So like they're not like logging on to give it a downvote. There's no downvotes. Just people find
because like the people that wouldn't like this aren't going to watch it. Period. Exactly.
No. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the top 3 of like weirdest movies we've seen this year.
And it's interesting to see if like the more popular the movie gets, if more actual reviewers watch the movie, and if the Rotten Tomatoes score goes down.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, it only, as somebody pointed out, it only has like 62 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not like it's in this overwhelming 200 plus reviews. Yeah, man, Terrifier 2 is. Was the first one better? Like I know I didn't see the fucking
shorter.
Like was it?
I'm gonna it's definitely short. I'm gonna make sure you see Terrifier. You need to watch. Gooch are you gonna watch back to back today? All Hallows Eve and then Terrifier?
No, fuck no. I still gotta catch up on
this morning,
baby. Catching up on all Jimmy McGill.
That's right.
Also, if you're looking for a horror movie to watch now, I really will recommend the Menu, which isn't pure horror, but did see it over the weekend, and it was fun.
I heard it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do next week, by the way, because Knives Out is not out on Netflix for like another week or two, right?
It's got to be Fableman's, right? I mean, Fableman's is this week.
Yeah, but as long as Fableman's is wide, we will do the Menu at some point. Fableman's, yeah, we'll figure it out. We just got to see what's most readily available.
I think it'll be Fableman's and the Menu. And Knives Out. Knives Out does hit theaters and go wide, but like it's only there for a week, so I don't know how many people are actually going to see it.
Exactly.
I'm going to be real with you. The result of the Michigan-Ohio State game is going to affect whatever review I do next week. I can't.
Very fair.
I can't.
I'm going to go see Knives Out on Thanksgiving. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Yeah.
Very excited for Knives Out. We'll figure all that out very soon. All right. Time for rankings. I actually have to go do a meeting for movierankings.net. So
I just looked out on my phone and there's one Letterboxd review that just made me laugh. I didn't see it. Back to the acting. Sacha Baron Cohen's talking cock in Bruno had more acting range than the mom.
Dude, that mom was. I don't know if they like took her off the street or like she's related to a crew member or something, but like, and again, I don't like dumping on actors. But she was so bad. So
that's
bad.
why there
She was,
is
like,
a
kinda
part of me that wonders if there was an intentional element to this. Like, were they trying to make the shittiest movie possible, but just with awesome gore?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But watching like her performance, I'm like, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
She saw Hereditary once and she was like, I can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ranking top 5 clown movies. I have to go. I have a meeting at movierankings.net. We got to get that site back up and going. I'm going to send my top 5 to Gooch. You can read mine off. So I am signing out, but the fellas will continue.
Okay. I'll totally read those out.
Yep. You totally.
No, I'm going to read them out now then.
Wait, because then you're going to spoil the some of the
picks. See, now you got to read them.
Yeah, send them to me. I'll read them off.
I edit the pod anyway. I'll just cut it.
All right. Enjoy, fellas.
All right. Love you, Jeff. Happy Thanksgiving. You're the best.
Okay. Rankings. This is going to be a simple one. I think we'll go. Let's do 5-1, and we'll start with you again, Gooch. Let's do Gooch, Chris, then me. Starting with number 5.
All right, number 5, the Lego Batman movie.
Because of the Joker?
Yep, he's a clown.
He is a clown.
It counts, yeah.
And he's a very good clown in that movie. I think he's like the heart of that movie. Like,
who voiced the Joker in that one?
That's Zach Galifianakis, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Him and Will Arnett's Batman, the dynamic between them is so funny. Like, it really is. That's such a charming movie that like more people need to see, because it's, if you like Harley Quinn, if you've watched that and you liked it, or like Peacemaker, like any of the more like spoofed like superhero stuff, like that movie is legitimately like hilarious for all ages. Like, so I'm gonna go, Lego Batman movie. I love that little Joker.
People forget Ray Fiennes was in that movie.
A lot of really famous, like
Ray
he voiced Voldemort?
Pennyworth. Like
what?
The butler, Alfred.
Oh, you would have thought he would have done
Mariah
Voldemort.
Carey. Brent Musburger was in it. What? As a reporter, I did not know that.
Yeah, he was making weird comments about Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense actually. This Joker's girlfriend, Harley Quinn.
I'll tell you what, these super villains, they get all the good women. Yeah.
All those kids in Gotham City go out in their backyard, start working on explosives.
Yep. Oh, my God. Musburger's a beast. Okay, so Lego Batman movie number 5 for Gooch. Chris.
Okay. I mean, I got to go with one hack pick, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I don't think that's a hack pick at all.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's a great movie. And I'll be real. I haven't even seen it all the way through. But, hey, it's Killer Clowns. They live in outer space. It's a cult classic.
Eat people.
We're looking for clown movies. Yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, man, in my number 5. Yep.
I think we might hear about it again later, so I'll save anything on that. I want to get an honorable mention out of the way early because I don't think any of you will pick it. Sully, land. Fucking don't crash. Don't hit birds. You're fucking clown ass dude.
Fucking clown, El Bozo.
Yeah, big time bozo.
Okay, that's not where I thought.
Happened?
Sully Sullenberger.
That's not where I thought.
How'd you let the birds
take your plane down?
That's not where I thought you were going with that. I thought in terms of the clown rankings, you were going with a guy who maybe worked at this company one time, who's in one scene in that movie. That's where I thought we were going.
Oh, you!
There is a picture. There is a picture of him in a clown nose. Yeah, so
that's right. Are you Sully? Let me give you a drink. I thought that's where you were going.
You fucking asshole. Okay, my actual number 5 is going to be The Day the Clown Cried. Have any of you heard of this before?
Oh my! What a good, never released, right? Like
never released.
That movie was, that was cancel culture. The movie, from what I hear, of
This
like
is canceled in 1972. You know how bad the movie's got to be, like, for on its face? So if you've never heard of The Day the Clown Cried, it's a 1972 Jerry Lewis movie. It's about a clown that's in the Holocaust. And it was, I want to say, the first American movie made about the Holocaust at all. And it was about a clown in it. And they're only like 25 years removed from the Holocaust, which is basically like making a 9/11 movie now, more or less, or like a clown in 9/11 movie now, basically. But yeah, he made the movie, and I think it was like a Swedish-French movie or something. And Jerry Lewis said, "This is never getting released. This is never getting released. I regret it. Never coming out." So never came out once. I think the Library of Congress has the only copy of it. But yeah, if you look it up, very fascinating story. The Day the Clown Cried.
Dude, what a great fucking pick, man. Yeah.
So that's my number 5. Gooch.
All right, my number 4. It is a very good movie. It's called The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Animated movie. Yeah, great movie. It's when the Joker.
Trying to mislead us with it?
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything.
That was good. I like that.
Motherfucker. I love you, man.
Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Yeah. Joker returns from a mental hospital. Very good. Very good. I like Part 1 a lot better, but Part 2 is also very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can't say I've seen it, actually. So
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I have.
It's one of the few animated movies that doesn't have not voiced by wow, he just passed away. How am I blanking on
Kevin
his name?
Conroy.
R.I.P. man. Not voiced Batman, but it's an older Batman. It's very much authentic to the comic book, like page to screen, like pretty much dead on. So it makes for a really good movie. There's 2 of them. Highly recommend.
Gonna have to check it out, Chris.
Maybe a cop out, but there is a clown that is prominently featured. The Simpsons movie.
Yeah,
I
like that.
Again, bending the rules. I legitimately, like, unironically, really do think that's a good movie. Like, I think that they kind of killed it with that, and I'm not gonna go off on a tangent, but that would have been a perfect ending to The Simpsons, like, as a series. But they keep going. Krusty's in it. Krusty's a great character, funny movie, and definitely a clown. So yeah, that's my pick.
I like that. No, that's a good pick. I remember vividly watching the trailers for that movie, specifically one part, besides Spider-Pig. It was Homer being on the thing that's hitting him between the rock and the hard place over and over again.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that as, like, I don't know, what was this movie about, 2005 or something?
2007, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I just remember watching that in, like, I guess middle school and just being like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, solid movie. I like that. For my pick, I'm going to let's do The Mask. And I think The Mask counts as a clown. I think The Mask counts as a clown. He is everything about him. He has the face, the mask. He has, like, I would say the temperament of a clown. He's just a big trickster doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go with The Mask. Jim Carrey, shout out Smockin', shout out Joe Ballins. Going to have to pick him. Any disagreements?
No, I would also argue.
That was going to be my next pick, actually.
Well, it's not a snake draft. You can still pick it.
Yeah,
right?
You can still pick it. It's a ranking.
I would also argue, quick sidebar, if we're talking like 5 to 10 most attractive women in any movie, Cameron Diaz in The Mask.
Oh yeah,
that was her first movie too. I think
he literally turns into the animated dog, hitting his head with a mouth at one point.
Yeah, like his tongue rolls out like a carpet, like out of his mouth.
Yeah. I like that. Actually, I legitimately like that movie a lot. And that's I think one of Jim Carrey's, like, best performances, because I think it's him putting on full display what he's best at. Just that physical comedy, like the ability to stretch as an actor. That's a good, I didn't even think about that. I like that movie quite a bit. Yeah.
Movie's very ahead of its time too, in terms of effects. Like the way
that's true.
Like the rubber hose effects of his, like, body and, like, all that CGI that they did for it. Like, that was really ahead of its time.
Smoking!
And Cuban Pete, great song. Man, that was 94. I would have guessed later. That's crazy. Wow, the box office on this. Never today would this happen. It made for $18 million, made $350 million back. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Like, a comedy movie right now, this is fucking 30 years ago. Like, a comedy movie now could never make $351 million.
People do not understand how big of a star Jim Carrey was.
Mhm.
Like, I like he's still like a big name, obviously, but in the 90s, I mean, Schwarzenegger probably owned the 80s. In the 90s, he was the biggest movie star in the world.
He was the
Like,
god. It was like him for comedy, and then like Tom Hanks for drama. Like those are the two twin pillars of cinema.
And probably Tom Cruise for action. Like that trifecta. Like, yeah, he was on a fucking roll at that point. And that was right before like Sandler and Farrell came in and were kind of like the kings of comedy for a minute, at least in terms of box office. 18,324,000. How did they never make a sequel? How did they never make a sequel with him?
He never liked doing sequels. I think the only sequel he did was at first it was Dumb and Dumber 2 or whatever, and then the Sonic one. But I think he said for a long time that he hated doing sequels, never wanted to do it.
This is a funny little. That's right. This is a funny little movie story. You guys remember the magazine Nintendo Power?
That one rocked.
They did a contest of where it was like, and shout out James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, did a whole video about this. But they did a contest of if you win this contest and submit your name, you're going to get a cameo in The Mask 2. Big problem is they never made a Mask Part 2. So somebody won the contest and they ended up sending him like $15,000 or something, being like, "Sorry, man, they didn't make the movie. Like, I don't know what to do."
Yeah, exactly. $15,000 for a cameo you don't have to do.
I could be wrong with. I might be off with that, but they gave him like some sort of prize, being like, "Sorry, man, they never made the movie." Yeah.
Hold on. Now I want to look up how much they got. Yeah, $5,000 US. I would still take that.
Was it 5,000 in like 1995? That's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. For a movie that never got made. Yeah.
Okay,
Chris, you're gonna make it. Okay. I would actually put this probably with my second to last pick, but it's kind of flimsy because there's only a clown in one scene. But I think it's one of the great movies of all time, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Wow. Yeah, see, I knew we were going to get something I didn't really expect. I definitely did not expect Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Like, I sent out a tweet that people shit on me for. I legitimately think Pee-wee's Big Adventure is one of the best movies ever. Like, I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure so much. I think it is my favorite Tim Burton movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a hospital scene. There's a clown in one scene in it, but that's back when kids movies actually had balls. Like, that movie's terrifying. Fucking Large Marge, shit like that.
Yeah.
But I love that movie so much. It's just so pure and wholesome and awesome. Yes, there's the dream hospital sequence in which a terrifying clown shows up. So yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is my third one.
Patch Adams really took their lead from that, I guess. Patch Adams. Yeah. Okay, for my pick, I'll do, you mentioned it before, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. A truly bizarro movie, and when it actually, I think it made like a shit ton of money too as well, which is kind of crazy.
Did it really?
I think it did very well at the box office, if I remember right. And the Killer Clowns in Outer Space, I think, is one that like it's that level of effects before they really delve too deep into like CGI stuff, where like it looks way scarier than anything someone can make on a computer. It's just those puppets of clowns, creepy as all hell. And it's a goofy movie for sure, but I think like it's a big time vibe one. It's a big time vibe movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So I'm gonna have to go with that. Gooch.
All right. Don't know if I should do it here. I'll go Joker.
Joker.
Yeah,
that's my next pick as well. So
Joker. Just I'll say it's not my favorite movie of all time, but it is incredibly, like, it is a very, very well done movie. Like, I see why so many people really resonated with it and loved it. I found it really disturbing at parts and a little slow moving. But Joaquin Phoenix's performance is just like undeniable. So great. And I really like Todd Phillips' direction in that movie, despite like people thinking him as like an absolute dude bro of a director. I mean, he directed the hell out of that movie.
He did a great job with that.
Now he did Tar. Gotta watch that.
I can't believe it.
I didn't think about I watched that Saturday. Didn't like Tar. Not for me. Just really well done. Score's great. Really like the score. Zazie Beetz in there looking fine as hell. Yeah.
Never existed, or did she?
No. So she existed, but she just wasn't his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That is
You think he meet for real?
Yeah.
That's one of those movies that's one of those movies that was my favorite movie of the year it came out. I really wonder how I'd feel about it if I watched it today. And I don't know why I didn't even think about it. Well, I have another Joker related movie
that I have no desire to rewatch. If that makes sense.
It's a hard watch. You brought up the score too. That was a huge part of it. Hilda Gutendotter's score was just incredible.
She's a beast.
Yeah. Dude, she's one of the best. And yeah, it was such a bizarre anomaly of a movie where it was $1 billion movie starring, a very good actor that people know, directed by the guy who did the fucking Hangover. And it was like a Best Picture nomination, like unrelated to any other DC property. And yet,
but it had 10 nominations. I think it was the leading nom getter that year.
It was, yeah. And it won 2. Yeah. I love that movie. I can't wait until we review the sequel. I think it's gonna be so fucking bizarre.
I can't wait for it to be a musical. I can't wait for people to be so fucking mad about it being a musical because I love musicals so much.
I do too, but like, to Todd Phillips' credit, you literally can't go any different than from Joker 1 to a fucking musical. So
that's what makes it like me excited for it. Because if it was just a straight sequel,
right?
Yeah, who wants to see that? Come on, do something different.
I'm with you. Is it my pick now or is it
it's
Kendrick?
Your pick? Yeah.
Okay. I really did love the first It, and that's my pick here. I loved.
Talking about Tom Curry or wait, which
Tom Curry?
Tom.
Which one?
No, the 2017 one.
Tim Curry. Tom.
Yeah.
God, I call him Tom.
I loved Andy Muschietti's direction. I thought it had some of the best like kid performances ever. Like you believe their chemistry. They were likable. That one stands out to me. I saw it when I was in college at Central Michigan, and people were freaking out. The second one I think kind of sucks. Like legitimately, talk about a movie with a elongated runtime. It Chapter 2 being 2.5 hours. Got to be out of your mind. But love the first one. Bill Skarsgård, phenomenal as Pennywise. And it's ironic because he was not the first choice. It was actually Will Poulter was cast originally to play that.
He would have been good too, I think.
I think he would have been excellent, but no, I thought he was excellent. I love the first It. It was funny. It was scary. And Pennywise as a character he's an iconically terrifying character.
I love my first Tit too. The first time you get to see one, nothing like it.
Oh, yeah. I remember the first time I saw a tit.
In person or on the internet?
In person.
In person, it's magical.
Actually,
over the internet, also magical.
Because there was a naked cowgirl, and she was like competing with the naked cowboy, and she just had her tits out, and I was like 9 years old, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
You were 9.
That's awesome.
Oh, holy shit!
I had a digital camera. I tried to take a picture of it, but it wasn't a very good one.
that side like.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But no, first Tit, both great. So yeah, that's my pick.
Okay, for I picked Joker. We're still on our second one. So last picks.
My last pick. Fuck you, Pennywise. It's The Dark Knight. R.I.P.
Yeah, I think we're all picking Dark Knight here.
Are we all? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, come on. We talk about this fucking movie every week, but goddamn if it isn't like the most like. Who doesn't like this fucking movie? It's so good.
It's why I'm really mad that I wasn't able to be on last week because my hot take is that just as a piece of pop culture, I think The Dark Knight is the most culturally relevant movie of the 21st century. Like when you look at what happened to comic book cinema after that movie and the way that people still talk about it and just that performance was so transformative. And even to this day, like And Heath Ledger was always a great actor, but like I still don't recognize him in that role.
Me neither at all.
If you would have, and this would have never happened. If you would have not known who the actor was playing that role, none of us would have guessed.
No chance.
Heath Ledger. It also led to, and dude, R.I.P. Heath Ledger. Like, God damn it! Like, what could have been if you fucking like to the? I love The Dark Knight Rises, but it's like what? Not just for that series, but for his career. Did you guys ever hear the Rob Pelinka story about Heath Ledger?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, basically, Rob Pelinka, obviously, for people who don't know, is I think he's GM of the Lakers, or has a huge influence on the Lakers organization. And
the one that looks like Rob Lowe, right?
Yes, yeah. Who went to Michigan? So I'm shit talking. I'm shit talking him right now. Once spoke to the Lakers team and said, after I saw The Dark Knight, I was so inspired by Heath Ledger's performance that I had lunch with him the next week just to tell him that just how amazing he was. And I think it might have been Kobe who was like, motherfucker's been dead for 6 months. Like you're just
that's a story LeBron would tell for sure.
I was thinking to me that was a rock story. That was
yeah.
But but obviously all jokes aside, I don't mean to make light of it, but I was 13.
Heath Ledger, James Dean was there too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All the boys.
But as a whole, I was 13 when that movie came out. That was the first time I realized like what real acting looks like. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is, he deserved that Oscar. It wasn't because he died. He won that Oscar because that is one of the great villain portrayals just ever. It's so well written. God, fuck, that movie's so good, man.
That movie is perfect in every stage. Like, I would say like action, acting, pacing, music, every single thing you can evaluate a movie on is great with the exception of Maggie Gyllenhaal, but it is still so fucking good and so unbelievably rewatchable.
Stephen A. Smith. Have you ever seen that First Take debate?
On First Take where he's like, why are they fighting over Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Beyonce. Come on, man. Like Skip Bayless is like, you're absolutely right. They're like, they sit there and they dog Maggie Gyllenhaal for like three minutes.
Bro,
I'm just talking like it's nothing to do with what she looks like. It's just she's not a particularly strong actress in that role. Like they treat her just so mean. It's just like she did not a good Rachel. She wasn't a good actress in the role.
You're right. Is there a bigger bag fumbler in movie history?
Rachel Weisz?
No, than Katie Holmes doing Bad Money instead.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Katie Holmes is not Rachel Weisz. My bad.
Yeah, like that is one of the most insane fucking things. Like, yeah,
I feel like Scientology influenced that somehow. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Fucking her lisp.
Yeah.
Bruce.
It's so weird.
Oh.
It's bizarre, but everything else again in that movie just
so fucking good, man. That's like the best villain ever in a movie, man.
Bruce, you can't say that BLM's a hate movement, Bruce.
So we got Jeff's picks. You're gonna think I'm fucking with you, but I'm not. It's number 5, Air Bud.
Because it does have the clown. Yes, there's a clown in Air Bud. Clown is like the bad guy, right?
Oh, is he? I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, the clown's the bad guy who tries to teach Air Bud the tricks and make him a circus dog.
Then the Tim Curry version. Then the first Tit, and then the second Tit. And then Poltergeist.
You put the second Tit above? Oh, wait. Okay. Yes. So when 1 through 5.
No, that's how it's ranked. It's 1 through 5. So the second It is over the first It for him, which I don't agree with that.
Wow.
I don't agree with that at all.
Everyone tweeted Jeff and tell him he's a fucking idiot.
I don't agree with that take.
No, just tweet the clown emoji at Jeff, like endlessly. Say like Bozo
D-Lo. I love that.
I also thought about doing Bozo did the dub. I thought about throwing that in.
Oh, yeah, damn. That's a great skit. Okay, so I didn't write any of our picks down because I don't have a free hand because I'm like
I did.
I got mine if you need them.
Just send them over to me.
Yeah, so mine were I already X'd it out, but I don't know. We'll put it up on the graphic later. But yeah, that's the episode of LCB. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. I know we have the Tuesday show, but we'll be recording on Monday. But we will figure out which movie we're going to review. Like we were saying, probably Fableman's or Menu or something like that. And yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Which movie should we do? The Menu was solid.
I want to do honestly.
I think a lot of people will be talking about it as a thing. I think that'll be a movie people talk about and like have their own thoughts on. I think it'll be a very divisive movie. So I think it does miss in a lot of spots, but
yeah, that movie is like a bit of a social commentary heat check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but like it doesn't really say.
Yeah. Is that directed by somebody who did something like
Succession?
Really well?
He did Succession. He did.
Oh wow!
He's been
Okay.
Succession, Game of Thrones. Like he's done a lot of the best episodes of those series. He also did Ollie G. I think was his last movie he's ever done.
Wow, this one looks beautiful. Got to give him credit for that. Yeah, maybe not the best. But okay, so we'll be back. We'll figure out what movie we're gonna do. But yeah, that'll be next week. So, Len, Trope Ballins, voice, love you guys.